The San Diego Chargers were the AFC Western Division champions a year ago, led by their extraordinary quarterback, Dan Fouts, who set 4 NFL records for passing. He is renowned for the great arm, the ability to throw the long ball, particularly to the new all-world tight end, Kellen Winslow. But in the clutch, he has the uncanny knack of finding the gifted veteran receiver, number 18, Charlie Joyner. So the passing attack is there for San Diego, but they have another weapon now on the ground. The great Chuck Muncie, fullback size, but the speed to go outside as well as inside. The Chargers are ready for the start of the 81 season. But they must go against the Cleveland Browns, the AFC Central Division champs, led by the highest-rated quarterback in the league last year, Brian Sipe, leader of the Cardiac Kids. And in Cleveland, they talk about their own great tight end, number 82, Ozzie Newsome. Sipe diversifies his receivers. Example, in the clutch so often, Dave Logan, number 85, one of the great all-around athletes in the league and one of the finest receivers. And the ability to motivate a ground game, led so often by number 43. Look at him. There he is, Mike Pruitt. The speed to go all the way, bursting through a quick hole up the middle. Monday Night Football begins again. The Chargers against the Browns.
You're looking at a live shot from the Goodyear Blimp America of Cleveland Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, where a capacity crowd of 80,000 plus is here to kick off the season premiere of ABC's Monday Night Football. The AFC Western Division champion San Diego Chargers against the AFC Central Division champion Cleveland Browns.
The Giffer has mentioned the crowd, and there it is. They are going bananas. They have been that way for days. They represent the new infectious spirit of the city of Cleveland itself, a city on the way back and making it big. And hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome to tonight, the start of our 12th year, 12, believe it or not, of Monday Night Football, now the longest-running primetime program series in American network television. We're delighted to have you aboard. Already the teams have been mentioned, both champions of divisions a year ago. Tonight should be a great game because it promises an aerial warfare second to none with the respective quarterbacks holding forth. Quick note, John Jefferson, number 83, the great San Diego wide receiver, not here, a holdout. The Chargers think they can surmount that handicap. They think they're ready. That remains to be seen. In the meantime, to fill you in further on the Chargers, my colleague for 11 of those 12 years, the incomparable Giffer.
That says something about my stamina. Good to be with you, Coach. Howard hit it on the head. It's going to be an aerial game because between the two quarterbacks, Sipe and Fouts, they threw for 60 touchdowns a year ago, over 8,000 yards. Well, they might go to the run now and then, but we doubt it. Don Coryell, the coach of the Chargers, he started it all before it's popular when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He likes to throw the football. And last year was perhaps the most productive year we'll see in many years to come. I say that advisedly because Dan Fouts had one of the truly great years. It's a football team that's exciting to watch, and they're going against another one that's exciting to watch. Has provided great games for us over the years, and a man who's been involved in it and watched both these quarterbacks, another quarterback who played a game here a few years ago, Don Meredith. Don?
I certainly did. Frank, when I look at these two teams, I can think of any number of retired quarterbacks who would love to be part of these regimes. I think Coryell and Sam Rutigliano may be the forerunners of what the NFL football will be, and that's to put that ball in the air. I love a quote that was attributed to Rutigliano and saying, hey, we don't try to establish the run, we try to establish first downs, and I think we'll see that tonight. Both these teams are pass-minded, as we've talked about. For example, Dan Fouts only threw 46 passes in all the preseason. He may throw that many tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, but Frank, I'm looking forward to it, so let's take it away and get this one undergoing.
One thing that will happen, we will have some excitement. And as you can see, San Diego would kick off. The Cleveland Browns having won the toss. Tremendous partisan crowd. They love the Browns here in Cleveland. Ralph Benushka will put it in the air. And a remarkable story. This young man, we'll talk about it later. Dropping deep, Charles White, 2 years ago, Heisman Award winner at USC. And a man we did not expect to see back there with the sore knee, an exciting little runner, Dino Hall. Set to go. Both teams 11-5 a year ago, divisional champions. Knocked out of a possible Super Bowl by the Oakland Raiders, who went on to win that Super Bowl. You can feel the electricity as we are underway. Charles White takes it at the goal line. And White out to the 20-yard line, sprawling to the 21. And we'll see the offensive unit of the Cleveland Browns. And it is a dynamite offensive unit, second only to the San Diego Chargers in the NFL a year ago. Brian Sipe, not strong, not big. He just gets it done. The offensive line, they protect Brian Sipe. He was sacked the fewest times, 23 times last year. They're big, they're strong, they're a little weak at left guard, where Robert E. Jackson is filling in right now for an injured Henry Shepard. Up to the line of scrimmage, first play of the series. Dave Logan, 85, split to the left. Reggie Rucker to the right. And the big tight end, Ozzie Newsome. And we have a pair of tight ends in tonight's game. Sipe, wide open. Greg Pruitt. Overthrowing is Brian Sipe. Pruitt was there. Pruitt with the great hands. Coming off a knee injury. Last year he was used primarily as a receiver, but they say he is ready to run once again. Let's meet the defensive unit. They're big, they're strong. They led the entire NFL in sacks with 60. The best of them, Gary Johnson. There are your linebackers. A new face starting for San Diego. Lyndon King at the left side. The cornerbacks. Perhaps no one better than Mike Williams of the defensive backs we'll watch tonight. Second down coming up for the Cleveland Browns. Again, the setbacks are 34, Greg Pruitt, Mike Pruitt, number 43. Gary Johnson gets back. Draw play. Mike Pruitt and a flag is down, and maybe Gary Johnson did not get back. Gary Johnson looking for a big night tonight. As I mentioned, he'll be going against Robert E. Jackson rather than Henry Shepard. And last year, Gary Johnson at right tackle had 17 sacks personally for the San Diego Chargers. And let's take a look at our officials. We'll be hearing from time to time. Pat Haggerty is a man you hear from. Running down all of them. This is what they do when they're not wearing their striped shirts. Classy group of men. And believe me, do they take the heat on Mondays and Tuesdays. And they take it well. Second down and 5. We're just underway. 80,000 plus here at Cleveland Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. For the kickoff of the 12th season of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. That's Ozzie Newsome in motion. And you're looking at Mike Pruitt, a 1,000-yard rusher of a year ago. He'll be short of the first down. And Cleveland will be forced to punt. Louis Kelcher, the big defensive tackle on the left side, is 6'5" and 282. Or rather, the down will be third down coming up following the penalty. Third and short. But for the Cleveland Browns, it does not necessarily mean they are going to run the football. Brian Sipe, 4,132 yards last year. Second best ever in the NFL. Behind Dan Fouts, 4,700 yards. And there's a little discussion with Jack Pardee, the defensive coach of the San Diego Chargers, who came this past season, and he should change things considerably for the Chargers, who are really stereotyped over the past few years defensively. They'll make situation changes this year. You can bet on that. Here's a call now from Pat Haggerty.
Did not work. They are now working.
Well, I think what has happened, the officials have their microphones fixed where you will be able to hear their calls throughout the game.
Yeah. The bad news is it's somewhat working, but the good news is it's already fixed. So that's nice. I like Tennessee to start off.
30-second clock is working once again. Third down, long 2. Logan left. Rucker is right. And now Ozzie Newsome moves out wide, as he is prone to do with that great speed for our big man. That's Rucker in motion toward you. Sipe on 3rd and 2 to the air. He'll scramble for the first. And he will not get it. As he is pounded there, hit hard. Initially, it was Cliff Thrift sliding out to help with Fred Dean, and now the Cleveland Browns punting unit.
Cliff Thrift came over awfully quick, as did the newest linebacker, Lyndon King, that you mentioned. He also came from his outside position. Met Mr. Sipe and just bumped him back a little bit. Didn't make that first down. Lost a yard or two.
Rookie punter, 5th-round draft pick. Led the nation in punting a year ago from Arkansas. Will kick to this man, James Brooks, a #1 draft pick for the San Diego Chargers and a great all-around back at Auburn. So the rookie, Cox from Arkansas, kicking to the rookie, Brooks from Auburn. Brooks is setting up. Brooks still on his feet, getting out over the 45-yard line to the 47-yard line. Good field position for the San Diego Chargers as their offensive unit, a dynamite offensive unit it is, comes onto the field. Quarterback, of course, Dan Fouts, and he was just sensational once again last year. The man who could have a great year, Chuck Muncie. The offensive line, they're good. The question mark, will the knee of Russ Washington on the right side hold up? If it does, they could be awesome once again offensively. From their own 47-yard line, 1st and 10. That's Kellen Winslow, the great tight end in motion. On 1st down. Fouts, great shot of the ball to Dwight Scales. He's down to the 35-yard line. 1st down, San Diego, and Fouts showing a lot of cool, staying in that pocket.
He really held that one till the very last. You see Winslow come back trying to hold him in. He didn't go down. Dwight Scales is the guy that comes back across the middle. He's not that wide open if you look at him. Good coverage in there by Ron Bolden, number 28.
Good touch on the pass, too, which was the key to it. Scales, a reclamation project in a sense, having failed with a couple of other teams, but hopeful that he'll make up for Jefferson.
From the 36-yard line of the Browns on 1st down, Fouts looks upfield. No receiver. This is Muncie. Muncie breaking tackles and spinning loose down to about the 28-yard line. It was Robert L. Jackson who took him out of bounds, who really is the emotional heart of that defensive unit for Cleveland. They finished last against the pass in the NFL a year ago. There they are, the pass rusher of that 3-4, of course, Lyle Alzado. But there is R.L. Jackson in the middle. Those are your defensive backs. Clinton Burrell, the free safety, has taken over from Tom Darden. Single setback is Chuck Muncie, number 46. 2 tight ends. Eric Sievers, the rookie from Maryland, is in there. But this is Muncie. The big man turns on the afterburners, and the big man is down to the 15-yard line.
Right now, Don, you see San Diego with its great diversified offense beginning to use the run because of Muncie as we look at it again. And when they operate this way, they seem awesome.
They really do. What the Muncie that time with a little head fake got Robert L. Jackson to commit to the inside, and he has enough speed that you mentioned in the opening, much more than you'd expect for a guy who weighs 225 or 30 pounds.
The receivers are Joyner, far to the left on 1st down at the 15. Kellen Winslow, Eric Sievers, Pete Houlihan, all tight ends are in there for San Diego. Muncie gets the ball to the right. And down to the 5-yard line, just big and strong with a gain of about 5. At the 10-yard line, they'll mark it.
Ran over Ron Bolton, and Dick Ambrose was the guy that had a shot at him coming back in the middle. He missed him. Ambrose has been the leading tackler for the Browns for the last couple of years. Coryell's got to be pleased with what the Chargers have done so far.
How much better, Frank? Muncie seems to be holding on to the football, carrying it as he runs, as against his propensity to fumble last year.
Oh, you think he didn't hear about that? And when you do fumble, the other teams become aware of it, and they're trying to strip the ball every time they try to tackle. Now, James Brooks, the rookie from Auburn, single setback for the Chargers. 2nd down and 5. Ball inside the 10. Brooks, the little man who is very strong, keeps his balance, getting down close to the 7-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down, and we'll put the Chargers, we would suspect, in a passing situation, and in comes Jerry Shirk, one of the question marks for the Cleveland Browns, number 72. Injured in 79. Nearly lost his life with a staph infection. Tried to come back last year, couldn't do it. Quit, said he could not come back, and gave it another try in training camp this year, and they say he is coming back to form. There he is, Jerry Shirk. 3rd down, it's a little more than 2 to go. This is Brooks.
goodness.
A rookie from Auburn, and he's down there close to a first down. Don Good, formerly of the Chargers, slid over from his linebacking position to make the stop.
There's a great deal of irony in the history of these two teams, San Diego and the Browns. They've made many trades. On balance, both teams have profited, but especially San Diego. For instance, they got Kellen Winslow and Louis Kelcher as a result of trades. Now, interestingly, here's the way they got Jimmy Brooks, the kid from Auburn, who looks so good, and it is a first down, as you can see. Had Cleveland not drafted Hanford Dixon, a cornerback and a good-looking rookie whom they now have, San Diego would have drafted him first and not have taken Jimmy Brooks. But Cleveland took Dixon, and that's how San Diego got Jimmy Brooks.
First and goal to go. A little more than 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Brooks turns back to the inside. And James Whitlock, the #1 draft pick from Auburn, read it perfectly, turned back and gets the green touchdown, San Diego.
I'll tell you, that was a good move. He was hit again. That was Ambrose, I think, that got him first, number 52. Came back to the inside. Let's see if we can pick it up.
He squirts through.
Here's Ambrose, 52, to come over. Overran the play a little bit. Came back to the inside. That's Henry Bradley, number 91. He just kept his feet balanced, moved on in.
And Howard and Don, perhaps the key to that, one completion in that drive for the touchdown. Ralph Benushka set to kick. He has a new holder this year. Mike Fuller was released a week ago. And Ed Luther puts it down through the uprights, and the San Diego Chargers strike first here at Cleveland. They lead 7-0 with 10:50 remaining in the first quarter, and this man provided much of the yardage, the rookie from Auburn, James Brooks. Ready to go, the San Diego Chargers, their first possession. Moving half the length of the field, and the little man, James Brooks, responsible for most of that yardage. Benushka set to kick off deep. Charles White and Dino Hall for the Cleveland Browns. Benushka doesn't kick it deep, but he holds it up there for a long time. And this is Charles White. And Charles White, the wedge moved up the sidelines, gets out over the 35 to the 36-yard line before he's hit by Wyatt Henderson.
This kid is due for a big year. A disappointment a year ago as the Heisman Trophy winner. Now the Browns are onto this kid. He's going to get a lot of work, and he's especially good despite his smaller size, going right up the middle.
Inside those tackles, he's a slashing kind of runner. Slashing.
Brian Sipe comes up, first down and 10, looks over the defense. It's a 4-3, as you'll see most of the night. Everyone in the pattern, and he goes to Reggie Rucker, and Reggie Rucker has the first down out over the 47-yard line.
We've said so many times, very difficult pattern to cover, somewhat difficult pattern to throw, but it's usually there unless they've rolled up into a zone. That time he's working on Buchanan over there. Really gave him a little room. No, Reggie just oozed out to the outside, picked up a first down.
Cleveland can do so many things. Last year they had 5 receivers with 50 or more receptions. One of them was Reggie Rucker, who just gave the Browns a first down at the 47-yard line.
Very interesting statistic, Frank. Talk about that. 5 guys catch 50 passes or more. That means he's spreading it around.
Your motion man, Reggie Rucker. Mike Pruitt tries the middle and struggles forward, as is so characteristic of this man who just had his 3rd 1,000-yard season a year ago. He's inside of San Diego territory, close to midfield. Cliff Thrift defensively there for San Diego.
Howard, you're talking about Charlie White a while ago. We'd actually had heard word that Charlie might start tonight. They've got Greg Pruitt, who we know has been hampered with injuries for the last couple of years. They got the Pruitt boys back in there. They're doing a pretty good job.
But Greg has more experience, and Greg is a superb receiver, as Frank pointed out.
And they caught 113 passes between them a year ago, Greg and Mike. On 2nd and 7. Knocked away. Good defensive play against Reggie Rucker by number 23, that's Irvin Phillips. He's a rookie from Arkansas Tech. We have a very young secondary for the San Diego Chargers tonight. They have a rookie free safety in Bob Greger.
Coming back in, it was not anything fancy. He was really trying to flood a zone over there, sending several receivers in there, but it was a good move by a young fellow to come back. Didn't turn around and look at the receiver, kept his eyes on Rucker. Rucker stuck up his hand, he knocked it away.
San Diego on top, 7-0. 3rd down, 7 to go. The ball right at midfield. Just under 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Calvin Hill, 35, in the lineup for the Browns. They use him as a receiver. Calvin Hill can't get out of the backfield. Brian Sipe goes down, struggling past the line of scrimmage. A lot of pressure. 68, Leroy Jones there first for the Chargers, and the Browns will punt once again.
You can expect that kind of pressure from that front four all night. Interestingly enough, the good play by young Phillips, and one of the reasons they hired Pardee as the defensive coach was the job he did with Washington on San Diego a year ago when he stifled San Diego.
We look at Steve Cox once again, the rookie from Arkansas, deep. James Brooks, the rookie from Auburn. Cox, he drops the ball very low. This does not turn over as he looks for a sideline kick and does not get the kick I know he would have liked to have had, as it will be marked up near the 20-yard line.
I found it kind of interesting, Frank, that when his first kick, they rushed 10 guys at him. He's a rookie. It's a good move. They rushed him that time. They tried to set up a return.
He drops that ball very low. That takes time. He may have trouble. We'll be back.
This is it. Another weekend vacation in Cleveland.
We hope you've enjoyed them. We hope you will continue to enjoy a season which we think is the best that we've ever had coming up. 1st and 10 for the San Diego Chargers. They lead 7-0. This is Chuck Muncie. Tries the left side. And he's met there very severely.
Robert L.
And Clay Matthews, along with Lyle Alzado.
Oh, Robert L. Jackson was in there, too.
He's strong.
He's got it.
Alzado's playing hurt, as you both know. Yet the man, he really has such a remarkable impact upon this team. They just have to have him in there.
Well, I was talking to Art Modell before the game, and he calls Alzado his Calvin Hill of the defense. They hold the young guys together.
On 2nd down 11, the 5th defensive back, Judson Flint, is in for Cleveland. Gary Shirk is in there for the pass rush. Fouts has the time. And that could have been picked off very easily, intended for Charlie Joyner. But Tom Darden was very close to another interception. He already is the leading interceptor in the history of these Browns.
It appeared that at that time that Dan had his mind made up to go to Joyner. He threw where four defenders were, and on his outside, he didn't have quite that much traffic out there. Made his move.
3rd down and 11. Again, John Jefferson not with the Chargers. So we are seeing Ron Smith, 84, Dwight Scales, 87, and now it is Ron Smith in, number 84. Pass intended for Charlie Joyner. Charlie Joyner well covered by Judson Flint. And now San Diego will punt away, and in all probability the Cleveland Browns will have the field position. George Roberts, recently acquired, will do the punting for the Chargers. Did his punting a year ago for Miami, where he was 4th in the NFL. Good punter. Dino Hall, a very exciting little runner that's playing hurt tonight, had settled in at his own 40-yard line. 8:24 remaining in the first quarter. San Diego 7, Cleveland nothing. Beautiful shot by Roberts. He turns it over, and Dino Hall is driven back to his 30. And down goes Dino Hall, the first man down there, the rookie free agent, Wyatt Henderson from Fresno State. So the Cleveland Browns will not have the field position they anticipated, but nevertheless, not bad. They'll begin inside their own 38-yard line when we return.
Well, I respect what they're doing. That was the Terminal Tower building, as you see it from our Goodyear blimp. There is a picture of the stadium. The construction program in this town, just remarkable. Something new in the psyche of this city. There is hope everywhere and expectation everywhere.
And there is excitement in Cleveland Stadium tonight. 2 division champions meeting on 1st and 10. Sight from his own 37. Flips it out to Mike Pruitt, and he's met immediately out there by Cliff Thrift, the middle linebacker, number 59 of the Chargers.
Good defensive read by Thrift that time. What does that mean? Can't be all bad. Oh, San Diego State. Sure, that's good.
Played for Don Coryell, as a matter of fact, the opposition coach tonight with Brian Sipe.
The Cypher Bowl they were all prepared for last year. Came up a little bit short. They think this is going to be the season.
13th round draft pick. He made that pay off. The loss is back to the 31-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 17. Rucker is split left. Dave Logan, a very gifted receiver, top of your screen. Sipe looking for Logan. He's there. Irvin Phillips slipped, and Dave Logan steps out of bounds for the first down inside the 43-yard line, and it mattered not whether Phillips slipped or not because this man was wide open.
I know you can call that a slip, and I guess it was. He turned him a little bit, but Logan did make a pretty good move. From the other side of the field, you can see that Phillips did go down, and he caught that ball, knows where those things are. That's one of the new rules, right? I don't want to get into that. He had both feet in it.
Well, it's our new camera that we will use from time to time to show you situations like that. Flags are down. Play continues. Sipe gets out of trouble and gets to the 35-yard line before he's taken there by Woody Lowe. But again, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
And I'm afraid Reggie Rucker is going to be a little bit embarrassed when he gets back to the huddle. I think he jumped a little bit.
Offsides. Well, he may have jumped on. Who knows?
Yeah. I swore I'd never do that, too, you know? Yeah, I mean,
I got to tell you.
Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. That's it.
Getting back to Dave Logan, 85, who made the catch for the first down. That sideline catch that we viewed in the reverse angle. Logan is really one of my favorite players in this league. He is such a great all-around athlete. He's always there when you need him.
It seems like such a cliche, the all-around athlete, but he truly is. He's their third-string quarterback. As a matter of fact, something happens to Sipe McDonald.
That's true. Browns decline the penalty. They take the yardage gained by Sipe. It's second down and 2. The ball at the 35-yard line. The handoff goes to Mike Pruitt. Mike Pruitt barreling up close to a first down. Might be a little short. Keith Ferguson, the rookie from Ohio State, a fifth-round draft pick in there defensively with some of his pals from the front line of the San Diego Chargers. Interesting, you know, when Dave Logan came up, he was actually drafted in the NBA and also in baseball by Cincinnati and Kansas City Kings of the NBA.
He's a Dave Winfield type.
Big, 6'4", 216. Here comes the measurement. 7-0, the Chargers lead. They scored on their very first possession. Inches short of the first down. These teams both, of course, advancing to the playoffs. You saw the heartbreaker for the Browns, the thriller for the Raiders. And the Raiders won 14-12 with the late interception of Mike Davis. Then the Raiders, of course, went on to knock off the San Diego Chargers in the AFC Championship game. Third down, inches. Charles White was in there with Mike Pruitt. But you give it to the man who's been there before. And Mike Pruitt gets the first down.
This is such a difficult team to contain with any kind of defense. As you know, Don, Part E, as he detects tendencies, will shift defenses again and again and again in the manner of George Allen.
I think he did pick a lot of it from George Allen, but I think Jack's philosophy is that he studies those tendencies so strongly that if he finds a particular formation that a team does something from all the time, he'll design a defense and gamble with you just to try to stop that.
Tough way to go against the Browns. They change up so much with those, again, 5 receivers who had 50 or more receptions a year ago. And on first down, sent to the air. Going for Azimusa, man. He was there, but overthrown.
I'll tell you, he had time.
He had time to throw, and actually Ozzie put a good move on the guys downfield, and he was open. The ball was just a little bit overthrown.
One thing we should talk about is that San Diego secondary. There are a couple of youngsters in there. Frank Duncan, who replaced Mike Fuller this year, is a third-year man who really had never started a game. And then there's Bob Greger, who really is a rookie. He came up as a fourth-round draft pick a year ago. He's number 43, so there is youth in the Chargers secondary.
Greger's a big, good-looking kid. Good hitter. 6'2½", 180 plus.
Second down, 10. Ball inside the 32. Sipe has the time. Wide open is Logan.
You can't give Sipe time like that. 2 plays in a row, Don.
You really can't. The Chargers have Don Reese, number 60, in there in place of Fred Dean.
I thought I saw a flag. Excuse me, Don.
It was a flag, Frank.
And that will come back. Illegal motion against the Browns. they would have had a first down at the 11-yard line.
Oh, boy.
And the microphones provided by the officials is not coming through to you, so we will be interpreting.
Illegal motion, number 82, offense.
Like I said, it's not working. There is a problem, however, with the switch of referee Pat Haggerty. 5 yards assessed. Down remains the same. Ball at the 36-yard line. Second down, 15.
I mentioned that Don Reese was in there, Frank, for just one reason. Fred Dean, very aggressive and very quick. The smallest of the defensive linemen. Reese outweighs him about 25 pounds. So it looks like they're trying to beef up their defensive line a little bit more.
They don't lose a lot with Don Reese. Ricky Features in the lineup for the Browns, number 83. He's the fastest of the receivers. And Calvin Hill, 35, is also there. Sight, Feature. And Feature steps out of bounds. With Reggie Rucker down at the 12-yard line.
Such a smoothly run pattern. Reggie just goes down, bends out a little bit to the outside. Got a ground level view of that. I think you started off, though, Frank. There's no pressure on that passer. Sight was only.
And they're going to bring this one back also.
Flag. Beautifully thrown ball right in there. Good route by Rucker. I think. Let's see. Well, okay.
Holding against the Browns. And we will not get into lip reading as to who the guilty culprit was for the Cleveland Browns.
I think it was Doug Deacon.
Now, we'd like to point out this is our first telecast of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. We have closed caption for the hearing impaired. Glad to have you with us. Tight, long yardage, hangs it up high. And almost taken there by Logan. He was in a battle with Frank Duncan. And the crowd, a partisan crowd, again, I'll point out, of 80,000 plus, saying that perhaps Dave Logan was interfered with, but there are no flags.
See him make his move on downfield. That's Irwin Phillips again, number 23. That's right there. Duncan comes over to 47. The Browns, I guess you'd say, good-naturedly call that Sight throws the ball 50 yards. Logan runs 60, stops and comes back and picks it up and leaves the defensive back hanging. That was almost the case that time. Underthrow him, let him come back and get it.
Third down, 25. Ball at the 46-yard line of the Chargers. 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Sight going for Newsome. And Newsome picked up, covered smartly there by Frank Duncan, and the Browns will have to punt.
They stopped themselves that time. They had some pretty good offensive plays. Made too many mistakes. The penalties.
That's true, and it's also true that Pardee is working wonders with this defense. One of the things he did when he coached Washington to a stunning upset victory a year ago, we'll pick up on that as we go. Here's Frank with the play.
And there's James Brooks. He's been a factor already tonight, the rookie from Auburn. Steve Cox doing the punting for the Browns. We watched him in practice. Watch how low he hits this ball. It takes a long time for that ball to drop. Up high, doesn't turn over. Brooks lets it go once again and again. Cox does not get the kick he would like to have had, as it is marked at the 17-yard line. So the San Diego Chargers offensive unit trots onto the field, and a dangerous one it is. They lead 7-0 with 5:20 remaining in the first quarter. The unusual style of Steve Cox, who led the nation a year ago at Arkansas with a 46-plus average. How low that is. As he booms it for the sidelines.
Can't get the nose of that ball to go over yet, Frank. It's just hung up there on him.
I imagine a little excitement beating in the chest of the youngster from Arkansas. First and 10, the Chargers. Ball inside the 16. Chuck Muncie left side. Finds an opening. Moves out over the 20, close to the 22-yard line for a gain of about 5 or 6. Clinton Burrell coming up from his free safety to make the stop.
Well, so far, the edge goes to Fouts, but only because he's thrown more sparingly. The interesting facet of the Chargers attack has been the number of times they've gone on the ground.
On second down and 4. Quickly out to Kellen Winslow. And the big tight end, who plays a split position on occasion for the Chargers, gets up close to the 30. First and 10, San Diego.
Runs like a fullback when he gets the ball.
Oh, he's a marvel to watch. He really is, as is Ozzie Newsome. I said earlier, we have two of the best tight ends in this game. And this man, perhaps the best in football today. Big, 6'6", 252. Set a tight end reception record a year ago with 89 as he led the entire NFL with receptions. At the 29 on first and 10. Fouts with the time, gives it out to Muncy. And Muncy just powers his way out over the 30, close to the 33, in the arms of Robert L. Jackson for Cleveland.
You've seen two passes, 1-to-1 flat, as you look at Mike Pruitt on the sideline. He was the top receiver for the Browns last year, as a matter of fact, 60-some-odd receptions that he made. But I think what I think Denny's doing, you saw him throw it to the left flat for Winslow and over the right flat to Muncy. They're playing him a little bit too tight down the middle, and he can't get to Winslow down the middle. He's trying to spread that defense.
Browns go with 4 down linemen on second down and 7. They have 5 defensive backs. Little handoff to Muncy. Look at that speed as he explodes and rolls right over Darden. Down close to midfield. They'll mark it inside the 49-yard line.
I want to tell you, he just hit number 27, Tom Darden, as you look at the end zone replay. Darden, a 9-year veteran from Michigan. Slowed up a bit. That's why they're playing Burrell. But still one of the great tacklers as a safety man in this league. And you saw the way Muncy poured over.
What a block by Wilkinson.
He sure did. I saw Masick do a pretty good job on Bradley, and you're right, Frank. Doug Bookerson came across and laid a pretty good one on Don Good.
The first down is inside the 49-yard line. Fouts. Wide open. This is Joyner. He'll have the first down inside the 35, close to the 32. Clinton Burrell made the stop, but Joyner was wide open.
And that's where Fouts does throw well. A lot of quarterbacks go to the outside. You see Danny come in. We mentioned earlier that Cleveland had 5 backs or 5 receivers who caught 50 or more passes. All of Fouts' wide receivers had over 1,000 yards last year. As Joyner come across the middle, you see a pretty good hole in there.
Well, that man's a magician, Don. Every year they say he's ready to retire. Every year he comes back, and it's uncanny how he gets loose.
San Diego at the 32-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Coming to the outside is James Brooks. And Brooks picks up yardage. Moving close to the 26-yard line is Robert L. Jackson. Had to slide out there with help from Ron Bolton to make the stop. And it looks to be a pickup of about 6 yards. Remember, Howard, in Canton, Ohio 3 years ago, Robert L. Jackson, training camp, we were there, and Art Modell came over, and Robert L. Jackson, the #1 draft pick, had just really torn his knee up, and they didn't even know whether this man would be able to play again. Oh, but he does. Second down and 4. Dwight Scales out to the left. That's Kellen Winslow changing his mind. Fouts reads the defense, dumps it off to Burrell, and he runs right into the arms of Dick Ambrose. There's a loss on the play. Back to the 30-yard line of 4.
Ambrose had that play diagnosed.
He really did.
All the way.
Well, his only key, you'll see Ambrose, number 52 in the middle, as he's sitting there keying right on Brooks. He never even looked at Danny Fouts. Came right back and said, that's my man. They had Jerry Shirk came in that time, and Robert L. Jackson, the linebacker, went out, so they had the 4-man rush. Ambrose was, his man to key on was Brooks, right in the middle.
It'll be 3rd down and 8. 4 receivers in now for the Chargers. They'll have the single setback. That's James Brooks. Ron Smith, 84. Joyner, 18. Kellen Winslow, 80. And Dwight Scales, 87. And there's a bobble coming away from the center as Dan Fouts just loses the handle. It'll be 4th down. And just about the extent of Ralph Benushka's field goal kicking distance.
Well, as Don Meredith was always wont to say about Cleveland, they bend, but they don't break. And they bent, but they didn't break.
I think that time they sick Clay Matthews, leave Don Goody. They had a little linebackers that came in the middle. It's kind of uncommon to see a man with Fouts' experience misplay a handoff from center.
Benushka picked 3 of 50 or more last year. This is 50 plus. He hits Ralph Benushka. A great story in his own right. Extends the San Diego Charger lead to 10. With 8 seconds remaining in the first quarter, the Chargers hit from 50 yards out. They lead 10-0. Here's Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. He loves his football, Howard.
Yes, he does. And he's a very nervous man, always before a game, but he just said, we'll get on the board quickly. Just got to avoid those penalties. Got a point.
And indeed, they were moving the ball rather crisply, and the penalties were hurting them. They'll have another opportunity. Benushka set to kick. Dino Hall, Charles White are deep. Dino Hall from the 12-yard line. And the middle one out over the 25 to the 27-yard line, where Brian Sipe will bring out his troops for second quarter action as we end the first quarter with the San Diego Chargers leading 10-0. We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment. We begin the second quarter from Cleveland, Ohio. San Diego over the Browns, 10-0. Once again, both divisional champions of a year ago and coming oh so close to a Super Bowl. They both feel they'll be there this year. First down at 10, the ball at the 28-yard line of the Browns. Sipe flips it over. Mike Pruitt. It's a block by Greg Pruitt. A flag is down. As Cliff Phipps slides out from his middle linebacking position. A lot of changes that Chargers secondary from a year ago.
That relates to the point I was making earlier, Frank. When Washington showed up San Diego in that stunning upset last year, Pardee detected that they played a safety defense. As you look at the first quarter stats, they played their linebackers deep, and Theismann threw under them all day to his backs coming out of the backfield, chewing them up. They don't play the same way now, not under Pardee.
And his personnel also. Lyndon King over the left side. He replaces Ray Preston. Lyndon King at left linebacker, much bigger, at 245 pounds, and he catches most of the running action on the left side for the Chargers. Irvin Phillips, a rookie third-round draft pick from Arkansas Tech, is in there at strong safety at the moment.
14 new faces from the last year. That's a pretty big turnover.
First down 5. Mike Pruitt tries the middle. Runs into a lot of blue shirts after a gain of maybe a yard and a half. It'll be second down and 4. Cliff Thrift, the middle linebacker, took that job from Bob Horn this year. Bob Horn had made almost 50 consecutive starts in the middle, and Horn hurt his back, oddly enough, some people say, pulling a pickup truck to strengthen it.
He didn't check what was in the back end of that pickup.
Well, he says he agrees he was pulling the truck, but he says that didn't hurt his back. But Cliff Thrift is in there at middle linebacker. Second down, 3.5 to 4 yards. Sipe. Pruitt. And that's the Pruitt the Cleveland Brown fans remember before the knee.
Well, that's the reason you'll find Greg in there on passing down situations. He is a terrific receiver.
I believe this is Woodrow Lowe that's covering him over there. Had him pretty well covered. Pruitt gave a really good move to the outside and twisted off of Woodrow Lowe. And look at again, good balance. Glad to see Craig come back. He's an awfully nice fella. Strong kid. Has been hurt. 30 years old. You see right there, 5'10", 190. The Browns are glad to have him back in there and healthy.
And the fans have come to life here at Cleveland Stadium. Their darlings are on the move. They're at the 32-yard line of the Chargers. Sipe looking for Logan. Marvelous catch. He steps out of bounds. But a beautiful catch by Dave Logan.
Wasn't it just that? That's why he's claiming he didn't run out of bounds. The call seemed to us perfectly right. However, it still was a great catch, and it relates to that all-around ability that Dandy and I were discussing earlier.
We were a little surprised earlier to see Irwin Phillips in there in place of Willie Buchanan. That time it's Buchanan. That might have something to do with it. That's an awfully close call, I'll tell you that.
That was one of your really close calls.
That was one of your really close calls.
Had the gripe. The first down is at the 11-yard line. Rucker moves out to the left, trying to hear the signals. Greg Pruitt couldn't hear also. Mike Pruitt fumbles the ball. And very wisely gets on the football, but the loss will be back to the 18-yard line. McGregor up there quickly defensively for San Diego.
All right, let's look at that play again. The pass to Logan and check again.
Well, Buchanan tries to come from behind to go in and intercept and miss it. And I don't see that
Well, we had
did he touch the white line or not? The official was right there.
Yeah.
It would be hard for him to miss it. 18-yard line. Second down and 17. That's Dave Logan, split to the left along with Ricky Feature. Looking for Feature. He's wide open in the end zone. And another great catch. Cleveland's on the scoreboard. And the man they expected so much from this year, Ricky Feature. He caught 10 a year ago. 4 were for touchdown. His first catch of this season, a touchdown.
What a training camp he had.
Well, they got him isolated on an Irwin Phillips. Came back in right there. Irwin tried to chuck him, didn't make the move. Trying to play him to the inside. Feature didn't have to do too much but just take off. He's got the speed that Frank mentioned earlier.
But what a throw, Don.
The throw was right on the money. Again, it does start right back. He had good time. Didn't look good for him after they had a first down on about the 11 and lose 8 on the next throw. Brian comes right back and lays it in there. It was a nice throw.
The victimized rookie, Irvin Phillips. Dave Jacobs. For 12 years, it was Don Cockroft. Dave Logan puts it down, and Dave Jacobs, who traveled the NFL rather well, makes it 7.
There is Ricky Feature from Mississippi Valley, who came into his own this training camp. The fastest of all the receivers. We'll be back.
Captain Tim Townley-Ween hovering high overhead in the Goodyear Blimp America with our cameraman, Charlie Mitchell, giving you an aerial view of Cleveland Stadium, hard by Lake Erie, and jam-packed and excited at the moment as James Brooks settles in at the goal line to await the kickoff of Steve Cox. Jacobs handles the conversion and the field goal duties. Cox, the kickoff duties at the 5-yard line on a high kick. And Brooks, fine running back, this youngster from Auburn, out to the 34-yard line. Slow getting up, but he's all right. A reminder, special coming your way on Thursday night here on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, and a special time, 8:30. We'll be in the Orange Bowl of Miami for the Steelers and the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah.
David Woodley, the quarterback for the Dolphins, the youth. Terry Bradshaw, the veteran with the experience for the Steelers. On first down. Fouts, Joyner. First down inside Brown territory at the 37-yard line. Clinton Burrell made the stop.
Boy, is this the kind of game we expected. By the way, the game Thursday night, already a critical game for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Howard, again, kind of a spot pass. You saw they look to the right, turn and throw back to the inside. That's the kind of timing that you usually work on for those outside routes. But with a guy like Joyner and a guy like Fouts, they work on it, I'm sure, an awful lot. They try that little banana ball to the inside, right on the money.
This is contemporary football with the new rules.
It really is.
Put it in the air. They have marked it inside the 39. Fouts back again on first down. Goes out to the rookie tight end, Eric Severs. And Severs picks up about 5 yards inside the 35. Goes to the 37. Nick Ambrose moving out to make the stop.
How can you call a game this early in the season critical? It's easy, because that was a devastating loss the Steelers suffered to Kansas City. They thought they had the game locked up. They had 8 fumbles, lost 5 of them. Chuck Noll dryly said it was a team effort.
Second down and 5. We'll see the highlights at halftime as we watch Chuck Munson.
Nice move.
Agility and all that size. Look at this. Inside the 20.
What a horse. What a horse.
Made a good deal when they got that boy, I'll tell you for sure. Muncie added something to him that they just haven't had out there. He's a fairly good receiver. The thing you were talking about is fumbling. When one guy fumbles, you start talking about it. That little move to the outside. He does have a tendency to carry that ball.
Oh, look at that.
In that hand, but that's the kind of move. That's Ron Bolton. He ran right by. He got Clarence Scott that finally came up. Took 2 of them to do it. Clarence Scott.
That's a man that weighs 230 plus with those moves. First down. Ball at the 16-yard line. Muncie once again. And Muncy driving, carrying the ball inside the 10-yard line before being taken by Dick Ambrose.
I didn't think he was going to get that kind of yardage. Then he had to slow up, kind of slither through, but he's got the moves as well as the strength to do it.
Hey, you said it was a good deal. They got him for a second-round draft pick, and of course, if you follow the game, you know that Muncy had all kinds of troubles a year ago down at New Orleans. They traded him off. Then he had troubles holding on to the football in the early going of San Diego, but no one ever doubted that he has all the tools to be the best at this trade. Second down and 3. Muncy, third consecutive call. Big opening. Muncy near the goal line. And we got a touchdown indicated.
That was a really good example to see Winslow being in motion. He started one way, he turned around and came back with him. You'll see him take a defender with him. He comes back now. Then there's nobody there on the outside. Ambrose gets caught on the middle. It's too late for Jackson to come back in. He hits. Ambrose recovers a little bit too late. And with Muncy's acceleration, he's got a touchdown.
Just that size and strength. If we look again, he's running through a really fine tackler, Clay Matthews. Clay Matthews at 230 just bounces off Muncy like he's a rubber ball as we get set for the conversion. Benershka puts it through the uprights. And we are watching a new San Diego Charger team powered by this man, Chuck Muncy. We know they can put the ball in the air, they can score, but now they can move it on the ground, and they are even more dangerous. If you like your offensive football, you're getting a double dose tonight. The San Diego Chargers leading 17-7. And with these two high-powered offensive teams, thus meaningless. Benershka to kick. Charles White, Dino Hall are deep. And it'll be Charles White with the opportunity from the 8. And Charles White will give the Browns good field position out over the 35 to the 37-yard line. There is Benershka. Remember Howard in 79?
Ralph Benershka. Watch him. He'll go off the field after he kicks. You've been shown that scene often, but it's always worth another look. And an important night for Benershka, too. Why? When he kicked that long field goal for San Diego? Because the Chargers had given away Mike Wood earlier in a trade with Baltimore, and Mike Wood had a great game against New England yesterday.
On first down and 10. Sight. Goes back to Mike Pruitt. And Pruitt driven out of bounds up around the 39-yard line. And I know, Howard, as we talk about Benershka, we talked about it before. He had that surgery that nearly took his life in 79 and set out the season. Came back great last year, but he still, well, they want to take care of him. They don't want to get him into the combat, and they tell him, don't get into it. Get off the field after you kick. And he was something last year, coming back from the season of 79.
Which is why it's always worthwhile to show that picture as a reminder of the courage of the man, the human spirit of him.
Ryan Sight looks over a second down and 9. Ball at his own 39-yard line. Calvin Hill, 35, used as a receiver by the Browns in the backfield. And this is Calvin Hill. Short of the first down. Up at the 46-yard line. Hit hard.
That was Willie Buchanan. Lyndon King, linebacker, came across. Calvin says, wait a minute, don't you guys have any respect for elders? I'm 35 years old, 12 years in this league.
You hear them scream for Calvin Hill. They love him here.
Oh, they sure do. Calvin does a lot of community work, too. But that, you saw Willie Buchanan right there waiting on him, and that was Lyndon King, who was about a step behind.
Calvin's amazing.
A yard to go, and you could say perhaps as we watch Calvin Hill, who looks like he might have had the wind knocked out of him, you could say the Browns can go either way on this particular situation. They have the strength and the hard running of Mike Pruitt, number 43, but Brian Cypher's not afraid to put it in the air in any situation.
See those two backs back in there fairly tight. They're going to usually, as I say, run that ball.
Ooh, and I don't think Mike Pruitt was able to pull himself loose. Well, this will totally depend on where they mark it. He went into the arms of Lyndon King, and that's just why King is in there for San Diego. He's big and he's strong, much bigger than Preston, who was in there a year ago. And we get the first down indication.
Well, he got it on second effort, that's for sure.
Calvin Hill on his feet now, working the sidelines, sucking in a lot of deep air.
They tease him. They said they no longer clock him with a stopwatch on the 40. They use a sundial.
All right.
Berkeley College, Yale University, Calvin Hill.
Cleveland Browns on the move once again. Big draw play by Sight, holding linebackers. Sight now spots the receiver as he came dangerously close to being sacked by Lyndon King. Incomplete. In the general direction of Ricky Feature, it'll be second down and 10. Changes now defensively by Jack Pardee as he brings in Keith Ferguson, the rookie from Ohio State, who was a great pass rusher there as a junior and senior. And Cliff Thrift goes out. Also a fifth defensive back, Irvin Phillips, coming in.
There's the great man, the defensive leader of the Cleveland Browns. Of course, part of the famed Brooklyn connection with the Browns. Odell, Retigliano, Alzado.
How can they lose?
Second down 10. Inside handoff. Mike Pruitt. And he cannot break away. But he does get 5 of those yards. It'll be third down and 5 at the 47-yard line of San Diego. The Chargers leading 17-7. 7:35 remaining in the first half. Penalty indicated against the Chargers.
Well, both teams have been successful on Monday Night Football. Of course, the winningest team in the history of Monday Night Football, the Oakland Raiders, who were devastated by their upset by the rookie coach Dan Reeves and the Denver Broncos.
And Craig Morton.
Encroachment, number 74.
It's amazing how much Craig remembers from all the things I taught him in the early years. Down there. And Danny, too. Of course, I worked with both those guys a lot.
That's Big Louie Culture, guilty of the infraction. Of course, he encroaches just when he gets into a three-point stance. They take the penalty, however, to keep the down at second. So it's second down and 5. The ball at the 47-yard line of San Diego. Sight, play action. Oh, and Greg Pruitt very nicely covered out there, and Sight had it in the area, but Greg could not one-hand it.
I saw Sipe on a local television interview show here, and they were asking him to try to compare his efforts with Dan Fouts. And he says, well, we really are two different types of quarterbacks, which is primarily we run two different types of offenses. Here at Cleveland, we incorporate our running, or our backs, more into our pass patterns than they do out at San Diego. And I think that's true because we mentioned Mike Pruitt led the league a year ago, but Greg Pruitt also is a good receiver. So they use all 5 of them. You saw him then throw the backs. He's going to do it more often than not. Calvin Hill's back in the lineup.
With Greg Pruitt, both fine receivers, third down and 5. Sight, Logan is there. And this time, Sight does not get it to him. He was covered by Irvin Phillips, who is really getting a break in tonight, the rookie from Arkansas Tech.
Yeah, Irvin's finding out that right now he's either got to gain about a step in speed or get about a little bit different position because he's just about a step off so far. He'll learn.
Punting unit for Cleveland comes out. That's Steve Cox. James Brooks will guess with Cox as he puts himself in the middle of the field at the 10-yard line.
Isn't it funny how they always find those rookies back there?
Well, they learn a little later on. Straight away, Brooks tries to slow down the charge with the wave of the fair catch, and the ball bounds into the end zone. Touchback. And San Diego will have possession at their own 20-yard line. They have 7:15 remaining in the first half. Cleveland Brown fans not too worried because for the past 2 or 3 years they've been watching this Browns team really give them some thrills in the final few seconds of the game. They never are out of it. They can score from anywhere. On 1st and 10. Sipe is back. Or rather, Fouts out to Muncie. And Muncie works his way up close to the 24-yard line.
To corroborate what you just said, 25 of the last 33 games have been decided in the final 2 minutes in Cleveland Browns games.
That's why they call
the
them
Cardiac Kids.
Well, that really is exciting football. I think that is a kind of an indication of the kind of football that we can see. I love those wonderful cliches. It's not over till it's over. Those sorts of things. But it kind of fits here, doesn't it?
Muncie got himself 4. It's 2nd down and 6. The ball just inside the 25-yard line at the 24. Muncie once again.
Unreal.
Well, he is different. Muncie out over the 45-yard line, and he is just shredding the Cleveland Browns defense. Not only is he running well, he's getting great blocking.
The 2 cornerbacks that time were playing up real tight, and he is getting good blocking. You can all coming back across, but he split that middle on the inside. Made his moves. He had a good move. Ed White, number 67, came in there with a good block. He's getting good blocks out of Masick as center and Wilkerson at left guard. Right in that middle.
Wilkerson was the key there, I thought, Don.
Well, he's a good Pro Bowler. He had it together.
On 1st down and 10. Fouts with a quick off. Fires and it's complete. Number 82, Billy Brooks. This is a man they hope will not replace John Jefferson. That might be impossible, but Billy Brooks, of course, the former #1 draft pick with Cincinnati, hurt his knee in '79, couldn't make it last year. The Chargers had him all year last year on a rehabilitation knee program.
Just right down the center, not anything fancy. The problem or the challenge with that particular pattern was to get it over the heads of Dick Ambrose and Don Good, who were out there, and Fouts did that. Brooks was right in the hole.
Chargers moving at will here in the first half. On 1st and 10. James Brooks. And James Brooks makes something out of a play he probably should not have made. But he has the speed, he has the agility.
How does the school produce William Andrews, Joe Cribbs, James Brooks consecutively?
And they were all there at one time, weren't they?
That is a just tremendous group out of Auburn. That's a worried Sam Ratigliano, but this is a man of philosophy. In this game, while it's not over, if the Browns go down, they were smothered by the Patriots in their opening game a year ago. He's been through this kind of thing.
Brooks negotiated 5 out of that run to the outside. 2nd down and 5. Ball inside the 30-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. Brooks once again spins back and runs right into the arms of Clay Matthews, but still struggles for yardage, getting down close to the 25-yard line.
You also see Lyle Alzado at the bottom of that pack, and I believe Howard alluded to Lyle has been plagued by a few injuries. He's getting to that point in his career where it's not going to be as easy to get through those training camps. I don't think any veterans like it, but they had a pretty tough training camp. They're not that deep on the defensive line, too, so they need to keep them all healthy.
3rd down and 2. Ball at the 26-yard line. Brooks, the single setback. Wilkinson out in front, and this time, fine defensive play. It was Clay Matthews once again stopping Brooks short of the 1st down, and we'll see the field goal unit headed by Ralph Benershka come onto the field for San Diego.
Nonetheless, that was a very big play. Another touchdown drive by San Diego, and the pressure might have been unbearable for the Browns.
They again saw them use the 4-man defensive front with Jerry Shirt coming in, leaves Clay back in that middle and gave him a little bit more room to move, and he moved very well that time.
44-yard attempt. Ed Luther, the holder. Benershka, weather perfect tonight. He hit from 50 yards. He is now hit from 43 yards. And Don Coryell, a cheerleader and an emotional coach if there ever was one, likes what he's seen. Roberts, the punter, has not had much to do here for San Diego this evening in the first half. As you can see, he's not been on the field very much. Set to kick off, Ralph Benershka. Deep, Cleo Miller and Charles White. Cleo Miller in there for Dino Hall. And this one headed for Cleo Miller. And into the end zone. Cleo, I think, was hoping it would go out of bounds and they would have to kick it over. But it does not touch back, and the Browns will start at their 20.
When you're hot, you're hot. Did you see, Cleo? It really took a San Diego bounce.
I could hear Charlie White up here telling Cleo, let it go, let it go, let it go. Because
let it go a little longer. Somebody else will fall on it. Another touchdown for San Diego. Yeah. I've seen that happen, too.
That ball is very much alive on the kickoff.
Reminds me of an NYU-Georgetown game in the mid-30s when Al Campanis yelled at Augie Galen.
Wait a minute.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. He left it alone. Georgetown scored and won.
Mid-30s. You got to be kidding.
I'm serious.
Give me a break.
Side back on first down. Man is open. Ozzie Newsome. Newsome up to the 39-yard line. His sight patiently waited, and he felt the pressure going down in the arms of the defensive man for the Chargers, but he got the completion.
See Louis Kelcher coming in 74. Big Hands Johnson, they're handling pretty well. And there's Big Leroy Jones, 68, came in from one side. That was staying in the pocket, too. We saw Fouts do that earlier. There you have a chance to see Sight do basically the same thing. Stay in that pocket till the very last second.
3 minutes remaining in the first half, and Cleveland could surely use another score. They trail 20-7. Sight. Man is open. It's Newsome once again, and Newsome lowers his head, pulls to another first down at midfield, running into Lyndon King, who was Ozzie Newsome.
Now, this is what you have to expect with this Cleveland team. You roll up points on them, but they keep coming back. I don't know of a better evidence than, well, the one time it worked against them was that remarkable Minnesota victory last year on the alley-oop throw that went into Rashad's hands. But mostly, Cleveland pulls them out.
Right at midfield. Sipe on first down to the air once again. Reggie Rucker, and Reggie Rucker's inside the 35-yard line. And Reggie Rucker, who was cut by Dallas, he was cut by the Giants, he was dropped by New England, has found new life here in Cleveland.
Frank, it's not anything really fancy, but Reggie does run very good patterns. Has run them for a good long while. You see how far he is really away from, or has beaten Mike Williams, and this is a fellow that you alluded to in the opening, maybe was one of the really 2 or 3 top cornerbacks in the league. They give us a statistic that's kind of hard to believe. They say he's been beaten 1 time for a touchdown in his entire career in pro football. That's pretty hard to accept.
On first down, we get the draw as Ryan Sipe, who has been throwing on first down, changes up with the draw play. Does not fool the San Diego Charger defensive unit. There's a gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8. And we're going to be returning to Cleveland with more football right after this message from the National Football League. So stick around. We've got fireworks tonight. Defensive huddle on the sidelines for the Cleveland Browns. They've got their problems. They were 23rd out of a 28-team NFL in defense last year. They only had 32 sacks as opposed to San Diego's league-leading 60. They were 28th dead last against the pass. And they have not changed personnel that much, so they can't anticipate much more of an improvement. Their game is keep the football. Put up a lot of points, knowing the other team will get points. 2 minutes remaining in the half. The Browns down 20-7. Second down and 8. Sight back. Rucker is there. Hit him on the helmet. It would have been a difficult chance.
I'll give you one guess. Who was again about two steps short.
You know what? From Arkansas Tech, Urban Phillips.
Sipe is not real pleased with this, I don't think. You see Reggie looking over his left shoulder. The ball drifted back over. So it's not exactly where Sipe wanted it. That's a very, very difficult catch to make. Trying to find it up in those lights. And once again, Urban Phillips is right there behind him.
Third down and 8. 3 timeouts for Cleveland. 3 timeouts for San Diego remaining here in the first half. And we have 1:53. Sipe looking it over, changing things up. Sipe. Calvin Hill. Calvin Hill stopping the clock. Hit and taken out of bounds. No, they say he was down before he could get out of bounds. Lyndon King was over there defensively as Calvin Hill gets the first down, and Cleveland goes with the hurry-up offense. Seconds ticking off. We have 1:30, and the clock is moving.
5 defensive backs, 2 linebackers, and 4 down linemen.
Sipe had not called the second play in the huddle. He told everyone along the line of scrimmage what it would be. Flag is down as Sipe throws it out of bounds, and Sipe is leveled by big number 68, Leroy Jones.
Oh, that's
tough call against Cleveland.
That's a killer. That's a killer. You have to admire this Sipe. He just moves the team magnificent. You talk about composure under pressure.
Their offensive line has been given a great deal of credit, and I think justifiably so, for Sipe's success. He was sacked only 23 times last year.
Holding, number 63, offense.
Cody Risen, right side. And Jimmy Webb has come in defensively for San Diego. Former great star with the San Francisco 49ers, just acquired. He wears number 61, number 1 draft pick for the 49ers in 75. Broke his hand, missed quite a bit of last season.
That's not the same one that threw at MacArthur Parker by the time I get to Phoenix. It's a different Jimmy Webb.
No, but he might have left the cake out in the rain.
He could have.
1st and 20.
They'll never make that recipe again.
Mike Williams. Great coverage downfield. Look at Sipe. Gets rid of it in the general area of Greg Pruitt, and that would have been a dangerous sack. As Sipe keeps it alive, it'll be 2nd down and 20.
Louis Kelcher's really disappointed. He thought he had a shot at him. Sipe slipped out of his arms. Then Leroy Jones gave chase. Sipe said, I've had enough of this, and threw it a little bit short.
You know, under the new rule now, he had to find a receiver, because if he had just thrown that ball away back there, rather than the penalty being marked from the line of scrimmage, that ball would have come all the way back to his own 40-yard line.
I think that's a pretty good rule, as a matter of fact, because I've seen it so many times in the past. Quarterback gets trapped and throws it out of the way.
It's a judgment call, though, Frank. I saw one in the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game yesterday where they easily could have called it grounding, and they did not.
1:05 remaining in the half. Browns down 20-7, 2nd down and 20. Sipe going for Rucker, and Rucker gets all tangled up with Irvin Phillips, and that's quite a duel. This time Phillips winning. Irvin Phillips from Arkansas Tech, and there, of course, was one other player that came out of that little school, and a great one with the Los Angeles Rams a few years ago, Eddie Metter. 3rd down 20. What do you call, Big D?
3rd and 20. Well, they've got him a new field goal kicker, so I don't know how strong he is, but I would say that the least thing that they want to do is they want to get 3 points before they go into the halftime. I wouldn't try to get it all, I don't think, right now. I'd try to come back into the middle.
It will be hard to get deep.
Let's go to Dave Logan over there. He's a pretty good guy.
That's the guy I'm waiting for him to throw to in the clutch.
3rd and 20.
Well, how about
Logan's free.
Good.
Calvin Hill does not handle the ball as Sipe was scrambling for his life. Could only find Calvin Hill as his receivers downfield were trying to uncover, and they could not do so. And now we will see Dave Jacobs as we look at that play once again.
See it so many times when a play's not thrown basically on this kind of timing, then the pattern that you call goes out to winning, and everybody tries to, and that's the mark of experienced receivers, being able to find that open position. That time Calvin Hill was, I guess, the closest that Sipe could find.
Chuck Ross replacement after 12 years. Dave Jacobs started with Denver, 79. Cut there, cut by the Jets in 79. Out of football last year. Logan puts it down. 50-yard attempt. Short. And thus ends the threat of the Cleveland Browns here in the waning seconds of the first half. And they trail a very dangerous and diversified San Diego team, 20-7. San Diego now with 43 seconds has 3 timeouts. Reminder once again, this is Monday Night Football, Thursday night, special time in the Orange Bowl of Miami. The Dolphins, the young Dolphins, and the sort of long in the tooth Pittsburgh Steelers. They will be trying to rebound. The Steelers lose to Kansas City. The Dolphins, of course, winners over St. Louis. Special time, by the way, 8:30. We'll see highlights coming up also at halftime as we watch Chuck Muncie over the right side. There's quite a young man. Kept his life private and all the hullabaloo that was raised over him for the past couple of years. Makes his home out in San Diego. Tries to keep a personal life in the glare of all of the publicity that has surmounted him over the past couple of years. San Diego is going to let it tick away. They're in good shape. They lead 20-7, and they have been, well, you could almost say awesome here in the first half, as the new dimension, the running game, has been added to their already potent attack. There it is, the end of the first half. And we're going to be returning to an electrified Cleveland Stadium for our halftime highlights after this message and a word from our local stations.
What a day for upsets in the National Football League. The first one, Houston against the Rams. The Rams struck early. First series, first possession. Quick pass, Hayden to Wendell Tyler. Sneak between two of the defensive secondary, eluded a third, and he was on his way. It became a foot race, but nobody can catch Wendell Tyler. 67 yards, touchdown, 7-0 Ram lead. They built it to 17-6 at halftime. Third quarter, Stabler to strike. Sparse training period, surrounded by investigations, rumors, innuendo. He was unmindful of them all. Look at this beautifully thrown pass. Right over the head of the defender, and before the second defender to Rob Carpenter. Good for 33 yards. Touchdown, 17-13 Rams. The very next time that Houston got possession of the ball, Kenny Stabler struck again. Here he was, and watch this beautiful arching throw, perfectly delivered to old 00 Kenny Burrow. Touchdown, 2017 Oilers. The Rams tied it at 20-20, and with 1:09 left to play, had to kick off. The ball went to a fellow named Willie Tullis. What, you never heard of him? You will now. Watch him cut left through that sheath of defenders with excellent blocking and still more excellent downfield blocking. Right down the sideline. That brush block to enable him to get into the end zone. Touchdown, 95-yard kickoff return, and Houston upset the heavily favored Rams 27-20. There was another big upset. It happened at Foxborough, Massachusetts, and the Colts executed. Pickup, fourth quarter, 16-14 Baltimore. Baltimore ball. And the ball handed off by Jones to Randy McMillan, the rookie from Pitt. Great power, great speed, deceptive speed, and deceptive power. And Baltimore went ahead 22-14. They built the lead to 29-21. Then Baltimore ball, 2nd and 16. Patriots 23. Jones hit by Bishop, and the ball picked up by Mark Hooper. And he returned it 31 yards to the Colts' 36-yard line. That set up a passing score. Grogan to Hasselback, 29-28 Baltimore. Then, with time running out, the handoff. Jones to McMillan again. Look at that man's balance. Look at him escape that tackler. Now running left. He actually runs out the clock. Gained 146 yards on the day. What a debut. Baltimore won it 29-28. Still another upset. The Super Bowl champion Oakland Raiders against the Denver Broncos. Oakland got off quickly their first possession. 2nd and 7, the Denver 9. You've seen this before. Plunkett to Raymond Chester. Touchdown, and Oakland had a 7-0 lead. But in that same quarter, Denver ball, 2nd and 5 on the Oakland 44. Watch this pass closely. Craig Morton to the brilliant receiver Rick Upchurch. Controversial play. Oakland objected to no avail. Was he inbounds or out of bounds? They decided he was in. Point after missed, 7-6. A later Steinfurt field goal made it 9-7 for Denver. And then, with time running out, Plunkett, a desperation pass downfield. And the ball picked off by the veteran defensive back, Billy Thompson. And that was it. Denver had beaten the Super Bowl champions 9-7. What a debut for the rookie head coach, Dan Reeves, and what a defense Denver put up. Upset number 4, Green Bay against Chicago. The Pack with a new look started early. Dickey, the handoff to Eddie Lee Ivory. Coming into his own is one of the better running backs in the league. Free at last of injuries. 28 yards on this down to the 2-yard line. That set up a score, 6-0. The try for point. Fumble by Ray Stakowitz. He picked it up. He ran left. And believe it or not, he found Rich Wingo. That made it 7-0. The Pack built a halftime 13-0 lead. in the third quarter. Vince Evans to Walter Payton. This play only covered 11 yards, but never could you better evidence the greatness of Walter Payton. Look at the retention of balance, the breaking of the tackle. That made it 13-7. But Green Bay held on and won 16-9. For a day, the Pack was back. Upset number 5, Kansas City against Pittsburgh. First quarter action. Pittsburgh 3rd and 10. The KC 18. Bradshaw, irrepressible when he's right. Hitting maybe the greatest wide receiver of our time. Certainly the most acrobatic, Lynn Swann. But the extra point missed. 6-0. Back came Kansas City. Bill Kenny passes downfield to number 89, Henry Marshall. Mix up in the Pittsburgh secondary. He lopes in for a touchdown easily, wearing the number of the Kansas City receiving immortal Otis Taylor. So Kansas City led 7-6 in the third quarter. 19-13 Pittsburgh. Kansas City would strike again, and Kenny would throw to Carlos Carson, and this guy runs like a streak. Look at him cut left away from the last defender. That put Kansas City in the lead 20-19. They were at 30-26 Kansas City in the fourth quarter, and Terry Bradshaw in the late going, as he has done so many times before, responded. A long, arching throw deep into the right corner. Number 86, Jim Smith, a brilliant catch despite good coverage. And Pittsburgh apparently cemented the game 33-30. But it wasn't to be over. Not with this Kansas City team. Thomas Howard became a hero. But before him, there was another hero. 1:59 left. And the linebacker, number 54, Frank Manumale'uga, caused the fumble. Thomas Howard picked it up, and incredibly, in the manner of the immaculate reception that won a game for Pittsburgh earlier, in that manner did Kansas City upset Pittsburgh 37-33. Pittsburgh must play again this Thursday night, coming back from that heartbreaking defeat against another apparently stubborn Don Shula team, Miami. Be with us Thursday night.
This is not a spaceship. This is where Chet Forty, our director, Bob Goodrich, our producer, Joey Chevo, are cutting the game for you tonight.
Gives us a chance to thank all the little people behind us.
We'll hear about that.
Tell it like it is.
Oh, wait a minute.
And from across the field.
Yes.
The Dorf's camera is moving in.
Well, I thank all the little people that made this possible. Chet and Bobby and Joey.
And there they are, reunited in the 12th year of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football.
Right out there. Started right out there.
Jets in Cleveland. Oh, so many years ago. All right. A pretty offensive first half, particularly on the part of the San Diego Chargers. They were really something. No turnovers thus far in the night.
But well, you know what's most interesting about this? Look at the yards rushing. Broken down, those figures indicate that Chuck Muncie has had 10 rushes for 94 yards. His all-time record game was for 161 yards, Frank. He may be on his way to a new personal record, and he represents the whole difference in that first half, the balanced San Diego attack. No turnovers, as Frank mentioned, and the difference in rushing. Now, the two quarterbacks, Fouts having a better time of it, not in terms of total yardage, but in terms of passes thrown and passes completed. Fouts is 10 of 12. He's had the running of Muncie to buttress his passing game, so it's been balanced. Sight, 12 of 24 for 167 yards.
I'll tell you, Don, if you get that kind of running, you hold those linebackers in there, it opens that secondary up, and Fouts could have himself, well, what would it be? Another 300-yard day? He's common. He had 8 of them last year.
Well, the 10 of 12 is something that I think you're talking about. You know, you hit 10 out of 12, move the ball, you pick up another 100 yards there. And they really have diversified, I think, from what we expected the San Diego Chargers to do.
Well, in the halcyon days of the Dolphins, when they were a great team in the young 70s, Shula liked to have a totally balanced attack. And Greasy not throw more than 30 passes a game, frequently less. Notice that Fouts, having thrown only 12, suddenly there is a total balance in this San Diego attack.
There's another little statistic that's quite interesting as far as it compares to the quarterbacks, and that is Brian Sipe has completed 8 of his passes on first down. So he's been very effective with the first down pass.
You had a glimpse of the rookie James Brooks at his own 3-yard line. Steve Cox with a little shift by the Cleveland special team, wraps it into the end zone, touchback, and the crowd likes that. They haven't seen that much over the years.
Jimmy thought better of it. That's exactly why they kept Cox and why Cockcroft, the veteran, paid the price. Cox is a tremendous kickoff man. He is not as accurate in his place kicking. When he achieves a greater degree of accuracy, who can tell? We've talked about it. Maybe they'll save a place on the roster through him, and he'll do both.
He's a good athlete. He really is.
This is what we were talking about a while ago. Fouts, 8 out of 8 on first down passes.
Single setback of Chuck Muncie as the second half gets underway. He gets the call immediately. Just bouncing off of defenders and down the sidelines with that great speed. Stepping out of bounds at the 33 for a first down, but a flag is down. We may have a roughness call in front of the Browns bench. Personal foul against Cleveland.
That's not the way they want to start this second half.
But look at this running, Don.
Man's a bull.
Don Good had a good shot at him, and he didn't hold on. Burrell coming over to the outside. He is really powerful.
He outweighs Don Good, the linebacker.
Let's see if what happens over the sideline, the personal foul. That could have been Robert L. Jackson.
That was Robert L. Jackson.
A little too aggressive. Carried it a little too far, Robert L.
So Muncie's nicely over 100 yards, Frank.
And heading for a big night. At the 42-yard line, the Chargers following the penalty of a 1st and 10. Screen to Brooks. Another flag is down. There's Brooks. We told you he was strong and small, carrying Cleveland Brown defensive men inside Brown territory, but again, a flag is down.
Well, he was. Marshall Harris, 260 pounds.
Illegal formation. Not enough men on the line. Offense.
You heard the call. Pat Haggerty, they have their own technicians, as the NFL. They have repaired their radio equipment, and hopefully we'll get the calls from Pat Haggerty throughout the second half.
You mentioned Marshall Harris. He's not a bad pass rusher. Although Cleveland did not have a great pass rush last year, he's not bad. He's a guy who walked out on the Jets.
TCU, Texas Christian University boy.
Pretty good player.
San Diego's been penalized 4 times, but all of them have been 5-yarders. First down and 15. San Diego's on 42. James Brooks, single setback for the Chargers. Bounce. Quickly to Joyner.
Oh, yeah.
Joyner has the first down inside the 40-yard line, taken there by Clinton Burrell. But it just appears as if the Chargers can do just about what they want to do against the Cleveland defense.
Pretty patterned when you've got Joyner coming in from the wide set. He comes back in. The defensive back doesn't know exactly where he's going to, when the snap is going to occur. Therefore, he doesn't know when Joyner's going to make his cut. So he just cut real quickly, moved up in that hole, turned around.
He's a master. He's such a disciplined receiver. He finds his spots precisely.
Muncie now the single setback. Movement at the line of scrimmage. No flag. Muncie right side following Big Russ Washington running into Don Good initially for Cleveland. And even with the pile up at the line of the scrimmage, Muncie ekes out a yard and a half. You can do so much if you can run the football in spite of the rules that have stimulated the passing since 1978 and the rule changes that dictated the blocking, the offensive linemen being able to use their hands, the defensive backs taking only 1 shot, eliminating bump and run almost. And if you get a running game going, you can certainly throw the football. Second down, Fouts quickly. Firing once again to Joyner. On that little movement to the inside, Joyner finding the gap, gets the first down at the 20-yard line.
Good offensive set, and you've got all the the receivers, or basically you got three receivers over on the left-hand side. He had Joyner set out there. He had Winslow set out there. They brought in Ron Smith, so you had some pretty good speed on that left side. Had Joyner make a quick cut up into the middle, and there's nobody there to cover it.
San Diego leading 20-7. They're moving once again here in the opening moments of the third quarter. Muncy, the lone setback. Left side, Wilkinson 63 in front. And he is devastating as he turns the corner with Muncy. Out of the 15-yard line, gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
It's a situation that time where they called on Kellen Winslow to block. We talk about all of his ability to pass, to catch the ball. He really did. He never did get Clay Matthews off his feet, but he stayed in front of him. And that's just about as good because Clay couldn't make that pursuit, couldn't cut the angle, allowed him to turn that corner. Kellen Winslow, good blocker on top of everything else.
I like the way Frank described it, though, with 63, Wilkinson right in front. Looked like Thurston and Kramer back in the days of the old Packer suite. Thurston 63, Kramer 64.
They're going to try it again this way.
Muncy, right side, cutting back, upended inside the 15-yard line. Clay Matthews there defensively. Gain of a couple, will be 3rd down and 4.
And Ambrose came in from the middle position, knocked out some of that. We saw White. I guess we'll be White and Wilkinson. They were both out in front.
What a career Don Coryell has had. Started out with the Cardinals. There 5 years. He won 2 divisional championships there. Took over in 78, 5th game from Tommy Prothro. He's been a winner ever since. Divisional championships last year in 79. 3rd down 4. Houlihan in motion. Brooks, open field.
Does he know where that goal line is?
Oh, he smelled it, dove for it, and San Diego moves the length of the field.
What a rookie that kid is. Oh.
Billy Shields was right there to say, hey, I'm glad you're on my side. Welcome aboard. You see him come from the right side of the back. That's all the way across the backfield. Therefore, with his speed, he can run away from those linebackers. He only had one other receiver out. And there he goes for that goal. Man, that is a nice effort.
Those legs churn.
They sure do.
Oh, they did so many different things on that drive of 80 yards.
They really mixed it up all night, Frank.
Ralph Benerska for the conversion. And the Browns are in trouble. San Diego just moving on the ground or in the air whenever they seem to want to. And let's watch the young rookie James Brooks once again.
Once again, Frank, he did come from the other set. He was set over the right side of the line, came all the way across the backfield to take that. That's very difficult because from a defensive standpoint, they say, who's going to cover it? And if they're playing man for man, there's nobody over there. The linebacker's got to come all the way with him. They're not going to keep up with James Brooks. He's got that speed. Having a good night tonight, and we're going to be right back in just a minute.
Ralph Benerska set to kick off. You saw the time of that drive, and they did it in a multitude of ways. In the air, little dinks, long shots. Set to receive the kickoff, Charles White and Cleo Miller. And the Browns, trailing 27-7, are getting in desperate trouble. That's Miller having a difficult time finding the football. Finally collects it and moves up to the 20-yard line. On that drive of 80 yards, they ran the ball 3 times, they passed it 4 times. And those are not your last year's stats from San Diego. They would have been 6 passes and 1 draw.
If that. Could have been 7 passes.
Yes, absolutely. Pressure on now for the Cleveland offensive unit. Their defense is being mauled by the San Diego offense. They have to keep the ball. They have to get it in the end zone. Brian Sipe knows that. First and 10. The 2 Pruitts. Mike 43, Greg 34. Fine catch by Reggie Rucker. Out over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Down the field is 2nd down and 4. Quick move by a Charger. Flags fly as Mike Pruitt moves over the left side for a game of a couple, and it did appear that the call will work against San Diego.
If you're going to jump off sides, at least do something when you get there. It looked like Big Hands had a jump, so they at least made the tackle.
Cleveland naturally accepts the penalty. They'll get the first down at the 31-yard line. Barry Johnson lunging offside. He's trying to take advantage of Robert E. Jackson playing left guard for the Browns, filling in for an injured Henry Shepard. Sight, Rucker's open and holds on with a nice catch. The youngster, Irvin Phillips, went for the ball, and with great concentration, Reggie Rucker comes down with the first down at midfield.
If practice makes you better, Phillips is going to be a lot better after tonight. They sure giving him some practice, I guarantee. They have a way of finding it.
There is no hiding.
That's right. You can't hide back there.
Well, there was a little venturesome on that play.
Well, they tried, Willie Buchanan, we talked about earlier, he played for Coryell in college, and they gave up quite a bit to get him over there. He's had some problems. He had broken legs. They're trying to move somebody in there, so they're starting pretty early in the season.
The first down for Cleveland, right at midfield. It's Greg Pruitt, and Greg Pruitt has another first down, and running like the Greg Pruitt who in the late 70s put together 3 consecutive years of over 1,000 yards. Hurt that knee in 79, and last year really was not the Greg Pruitt that we had watched in those late 70s. Was a good receiver, however.
He is.
Well, if Meetings,
you see that play?
They're going to be improved also, Don.
That's right. The play he has drawn up there is the one they scored on. That was with Brooks coming from the opposite side of the backfield across. He's saying somebody's got to cover that guy. They didn't cover him on the touchdown.
Sipe again to the air. First down. Dave Logan's out there. And this is the Cleveland Browns game. Possession. Dink here. Send Pruitt off tackle. Find Logan in the flat. Look for Ozzie Newsome coming up shortly.
Well, that time came back across. He's getting a little bit of help from Bob Greger, who's also fairly new in there. But once again, you see Irvin Phillips is back.
There's the 2 youngsters in there. Bob Greger is basically a rookie also, number 43. Irvin Phillips will not be a rookie after tonight's game is over because Sipe is looking for him every time he comes to the line of scrimmage. Ball inside the 29-yard line of the Chargers. First and 10. 9:32 remaining in the third quarter. Flag is down. Sipe completes it to Greg Pruitt. Pruitt bobbles the ball. There's a mad scramble.
First turnover of the night.
Exactly.
San Diego indicated having come up with the possession, but there is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
There were 2. Let's listen.
Oh.
There is a break for Cleveland.
What a break.
Very good.
Cleveland's had 2 big opportunities tonight. An opportunity to score a touchdown shortly before the end of the half. It would have been 20-14 at halftime. They failed. Now this opportunity. The Browns are playing that kind of game.
Offside, number 61, defense.
Browns are playing their game, as Frank said, but they've got to capitalize, and they've got to do it now if they're to make any kind of game of this.
Newly acquired Jimmy Webb is offside for the Chargers. First down and 5. The ball at the 24-yard line. Once again, San Diego on top, 27-7. Sipe loses the football, pulling away from the center, Tom DeLeon. Rambles back. There will be a loss of a couple of yards. And while they set it up, we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations and friends throughout the country let you know who's bringing you the game. If you just joined us, San Diego dominating this game offensively. Not so much defensively, but they just kept the football running and passing. Great running by Muncie and a youngster named James Brooks. But now Cleveland trying to get back in it. Second down and 8. Sipe. And that was not a Sipe throw. Greg Pruitt was wide open. Sipe knows so.
Yeah, that's key point right there. Another key turning point for Cleveland.
The worst pass he's thrown tonight because it looked to me that there was maybe even a defensive mix-up over there because it was really wide open when he came through the middle.
Well, he's got another shot.
Third down, long 6 for Sipe.
Has either quarterback been sacked tonight?
Not sacked. Hit late.
Hit late and maybe ran one time. That's a pretty good compliment to both offensive lines. Or
Sipe on the quick count. Sipe has Rucker, and Rucker holds on down near the 10-yard line, and Cleveland keeps the drive alive. A drive they must have.
You're seeing a few new players coming in there. He's got really a man for man. He's coming back into the inside. Not much help from the linebacker position. But you've got Mike Williams, number 29, who's coming in there. Reggie Rucker really does run good routes. I've said it a couple
He
of times
really
tonight,
does, because he was working against Mike Williams on that play, and he did it successfully. You know, they once called Reggie a malcontent, the trouble he had with 3 prior teams, and when he came here, they said he was, but he certainly hasn't played like one here.
Brown from the Chargers 11. Sight smartly gets rid of the ball. He was being pressured there by Leroy Jones. And his receiver, intended receiver, Dave Logan, well covered. 2nd and 10. A man whose life is football. Started elementary schools in Hawaii. Posted great records with Whittier. Later San Diego State.
Really a relaxed face, isn't it?
Did a good job, I thought, at St. Louis.
Yes.
He really did a good job there.
2 divisional titles.
The Cowboys spits.
They really didn't like to play him. They said, man, he's the most imaginative offensive coach. Brown.
There was movement, but no flag. Great Pruitt with those great arms. One-hands it down inside the 5-yard line, and was it Sam Rutigliano, Howard said, the finest hands on the Browns team belongs to Greg Pruitt.
That's an athlete, my friends.
This is an outstanding catch. Every time I see Greg Pruitt, though, I really can't help but think of when we were doing a Superstar show, and he wins the weightlifting. He's, what, 300 pounds or something like that? Close to it. 275, 285 pounds, and here's the guy that wins the weightlifting.
But he's got an upper body like, you know, a heavyweight.
Browns can get a first down near the 1-yard line. It is 3rd down and 4. Scythe in trouble. Releases the ball.
Oh, is he?
And it's decision time now for Sam Rutigliano. He keeps the field goal unit on the bench and sends in instead Ricky Feature with the play.
He's got to go for it.
Yeah, I don't think that was much of a decision for Coach Sam, as they call it here at Cleveland. We saw Feature run out there just as soon as the incompleted pass occurred, so I think they were planning to go for 7 all along. I agree with this. I really do. They've got to get back in the game with touchdowns, not field goals.
And even if they fail, they'll leave San Diego in a deep hole. 4th down.
Right there.
Greg Pruitt, touchdown. Cleveland is back in the ball game. You could say they had to have that.
Wouldn't you say that might be a result of a little bit of inexperience over there with Lyndon King on that side where Ray Preston has been playing? They read a defensive line. Somebody's supposed to come out and stay with him.
All alone.
You know, what's really strange is they also blitzed the safety that time, Frank Duncan, who's also fairly new back there. So somebody made a defensive error.
Extra point. Very precious at this point. And Dave Jacobs provides it.
Dave Jacobs is 5'7", about 155 pounds, but they're planning on him doing big things for him.
What they have to do now is obvious. They got to.
Coachman number 23, defense decline. Good.
They've got to hold, or else get a break and a turnover to get back in the game with another touchdown. We'll let Gift take care of that when we come back to Cleveland Stadium in a moment.
We're back in Cleveland, and almost a delirious crowd of Cleveland Browns supporters on hand tonight. They have seen the Browns come back so many times. They're looking for it once again. Steve Cox will kick off. James Brooks is deep for the Chargers. Look at Cox. Takes Brooks all the way back to the back of the end zone. We've talked about it already, but what a plus that is when you can keep the offensive team inside the 30, 35-yard line, and that's where they often run it back. But Cox drilled it to Brooks. He had to stay there.
He's got some foot. Frank and I watched him before the Hall of Fame game in practice. And we looked at each other and we said, poor Cockcroft, he's gone. It was evident then. What a foot that kid has. Whoa.
Now, the Cleveland defense, they have to do something. They've only forced one punt of the Chargers in 2.5 quarters of play. Fouts on first down. There's Joyner.
They've done something, all
Looking for
right.
the block from Winslow. Spreading to the sidelines, and he steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line. And what a shot by Fouts.
It starts off, we see Cleveland in a 4-man defensive front. A little bit different. The ball is a little bit underthrown, but he was just so wide open. He got down behind the linebackers. Clay Matthews is the guy, number 57, that's coming back in there to get you. See Clarence Scott, number 22, wide open. Danny Fouts had good time to throw.
The very thing Cleveland didn't want to do. What a night Charlie's having. Let San Diego get immediate momentum again, and they've got it.
Fouts again on first down.
You bet.
Chuck Muncie. Fred Wilkinson in front.
I think that's such a smart call. He just hit him with a real big one. That was designed, a little quick screen out to Muncie out of the one back in the backfield. A slight delay, get 2 linemen out there in front of him. And when you got those 2 linemen pulling, as he does, man, you've got some good help out there.
Chuck Muncie, who is so agile to be so large. Had his single 1,000-yard season with New Orleans, 1979. Came to the Chargers after the first few games of last year. Cappelletti gets his first call of the night.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting, Frank? First time you've heard Cappelletti tonight. Right through its left hand, encased in ice. Yeah, he caught the one-handed pass with that hand, and maybe that's the cause of the swelling.
Cappelletti gets the first down at the 18-yard line. Cappelletti stays in along with Muncie. Ron Smith in motion for the Chargers. Fouts with a perfect read of the blitzing defense. Hits Winslow. Winslow, the big one, also inside the 5. It'll be first and goal. Fouts read that perfectly. There was a full blitz on. Winslow timed it out perfectly with him. And I believe a Charger is shaken up.
Oh, Kellen appears to be shaken up. He took a heavy belt there. Oh, what a devastating offense. How quick, how dynamic. They look awesome.
See what Frank was talking about right there? Had a pretty good blitz. That's Robert L. Jackson, 56, coming in the inside. Look at him bounce off of Burrell. Don Good takes a shot at him. They all going to jump in there for a while, trying to get a leg or something. There he goes down.
Whistle had blown as Winslow is being administered to.
You know, he didn't really move very much after they threw that Clarence Scott 20. There's the shot.
That's the
There's
belt
the
right there.
Clay Matthews came in.
That was the belt right there.
So Kellen Winslow being treated by the medical staff of the San Diego Chargers. Chargers with the first down and goal to go. We'll be back. While we were away, Kellen Winslow got to his feet, walked half the distance to the bench, and then jogged the rest of the way. Appears to be all right. Shaken up, obviously, as he was really hammered by both Don Good and by Clay Matthews. He really was not so much struggling for extra yardage as he just was being held up by the defensive charge. First down, goal to go, the Chargers. They lead 27-14. They're threatening to expand that lead. Hank Bauer in motion. He blocks well. This is Muncie. Gets to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Clarence Scott up there quickly. Getting help from Tom Darden.
To give you some measure of Dan Fouts tonight, he has completed 14 consecutive passes.
That's amazing, because it's not something that you really would, no, he's been picking them here, running over there, picking there, 14 in a row.
I'll tell you, no thumb through the book, but if that's not a San Diego record, it's certainly one of your fine averages.
It's not bad.
Second and goal. Cleveland Brown man move offside. The Brown man got back. Bauer stopped, and very wisely, Dan Fouts, instead of fouling the whole thing up, calls timeout.
And he had a few words with Hank Bauer before he goes over to that sideline.
Remarkable man. 4 NFL records a year ago. 8 games he went for 300 yards, most attempts, most completions, and over 4,700 yards. We ought to clone you for as many places you're going to be over the next couple of weeks.
Not a bad idea.
Second down and goal. There's Bauer in motion. Fouts wide open.
All right,
Is Hank Bauer. He was the man in motion, cut back right against the defense with play action to the left. Touchdown San Diego, and they are making it look so easy.
Look at Fouts and Coryell. Now, Hank Bauer doesn't get to score that often. He used to be the guy that came in on the short yardage, but he's the guy you see more often than not on those specialty teams. Back across the green, he was the guy in motion Frank mentioned. He said,
he has an absolute disregard for human life, including his own.
He almost overthrew him that time, you know it?
That man is mad.
But Howard's referring to on special teams, he is awesome to watch coming down the field. He just hurdles that body in there.
California Lutheran.
Beneshka flags it down as Beneshka drills it through the uprights. They would suspect that would be against Cleveland and will be assessed on the kickoff.
Illegal procedure. 12 men on the field. Decline.
Well, if you get away with it, not a bad way to rush the kicker, is it? 12 men on the field.
It's really embarrassing when you get 12 out there and still can't block it, though.
You got a point. Well, Dan Fouts is making a major point tonight. We'll be back. Large drive of 80 yards. Took 40 seconds less than their previous drive of 80 yards.
And one last play, didn't it?
Yes. Penalty assessed on the kickoff, so Beneshka will hit it from his 40. Cleo Miller from his 5-yard line. Miller out over the 25-yard line, and here comes the offensive unit of the Browns. You can't necessarily fault them, other than a few penalties in the first half. They've been playing their game. Their pals on defense have just not been able to get the ball back for them.
There's the big man for Cleveland's defense, Lyle Alzado, a foot problem, as you see. Aggravated calf is what we are told.
San Diego now with 371 yards of offense. The Browns with 266. Cleveland from their 27-yard line. That's Rucker in motion. That's Rucker, the receiver. Incomplete.
Catchable, but not a really good pass that time. Threw behind him. Hank Bauer on the sideline.
He just has hammered that hair right off the top of his head over the years.
Hard nose, and it just scooted all the way up to the top.
Good
You
man.
know
He's
something?
really active out there in community things.
Look at him. Frank looks a little bit like Ray Nitschke. Same type, too.
I was going to say, acts a little bit like Ray Nitschke. 5:08 remaining in the third quarter. Chargers now 34, Cleveland 14. Tight all the time in the world. Newsom is out there and almost picked off by Willie Buchanan. That time Sight hung it up a little high because Newsom was open.
Buchanan was, I think, played that one pretty well. He was just off, but he was really still in stride with Newsom. He played that one for the interception. A little experience there working for him tonight. Didn't quite make the move that came through.
It'll be third down and 10 on what you could say just about a perfect night here on Labor Day. Temperatures high 60s. There was a warning of possible showers for late this evening. Sight looking for Logan.
Yes,
And good play by Mike Williams. We told you about him early in the game. Not the heralded defensive back as many in the league, but he is steady, reliable, always there.
The Chargers have put in the fifth back now. They've taken out one of the linebackers, got the 4 defensive linemen. The fifth back is in. Of course, anticipating a lot of throws, and you see Williams play the ball really well.
He's good. He can play that position. Meantime, that was the first series where Ryan couldn't move the club, and they looked the part of a beaten team.
It has to take the heart out of an offensive team just a little bit when your defense does not get it back. This is Steve Cox, and this time he really hammers one. This will be Brooks at his 27-yard line. Flags are down as Brooks negotiates his way out to the 33-yard line. So can the Chargers continue their offensive display? We'll see in a moment. Marty Schottenheimer is the defensive coordinator for the Browns, but he inherited the personnel when he came a year ago. He certainly has the talent. Tutored under one of the great defensive coaches in the game, Bill Arnsparger.
Illegal use of the hands, number 23 and 83 on the return.
Illegal use of the hands. You heard the call working against San Diego. Irvin Phillips, who's getting a lot of calls tonight, involved in that.
I really thought it was 32. What I looked like Wyatt Henderson was the guy down there.
He was also involved. Kellen Winslow, by the way, is back in the game. And following the penalty, the Chargers will move from their 19.
Hands on the return, defense in the middle of the back.
Up to the line of scrimmage comes down Fouts, and while he does not call the plays, they have really mixed it up tonight. Muncy, left side. Muncy over the 20, out to the 22, 23-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Chargers are getting a lot of different looks offensively. They brought in that particular last play. They brought in their 2 tight end situations with the 1 back, which was Muncy. As we've mentioned many times with Winslow, Winslow is not what you call your typical tight end because of his exceptional speed. Brought in a rookie, Eric Sievers. Or is it Sivers? Sievers.
Ron Smith, split to the right. That's Winslow. Turning it around. Charlie Joyner trying it over the middle, and this time Lawrence Johnson was with Joyner. And Joyner's been running his patterns pretty much in a lonesome style all night. That time Johnson was right with Joyner.
I think he really went to a guy who wasn't that open that time, Frank. He was trying to force that ball a bit. Larry Johnson was with him all the way. Went to him awfully very quickly that time.
Nobody's perfect.
Well, that's true. He did hit 15 in a row, though, didn't he? So it's close.
White Scales, Ron Smith, Charlie Joyner, Kellen Winslow, receivers on 3rd down and 6 for San Diego. Muncy, the lone setback. Fouts steps up, tries to go to Joyner, and almost picked off by Ron Bolden. But this time, the Browns defense gets an ovation as they force George Roberts, whose leg is almost atrophied, back out on the field. He, of course, the punter who has punted once tonight.
Atrophied, he said.
Yes.
I like that.
Interesting.
Well, he's with the new team. You'd like to show his talents, and he's had 1 punt tonight. There's Greg Pruitt. Dino Hall tried to go tonight, playing on a sore leg. He's been off the special teams, and that means Greg Pruitt, with the sure hands, is back on the punt. Roberts, and it doesn't turn over, but it does go out of bounds very short. So Cleveland with good field position, and they'll have a chance from their own 43-yard line when we come back to Cleveland after this message. 1st and 10, Cleveland from inside their own 44-yard line. Sight complete. Newsom has the first down inside the 37 of San Diego. Bob Greger, the rookie defensive back, made the stop for the Chargers.
This is the kind of pass that will dispel any suspicion of lack of power in Mr. Sipes' right arm. He drills this one right between a couple of linebackers there. Ozzie Newsom, that one was a very good throw.
More than that, you can see what the defense did for them by holding. They've got a whole new look out there.
And it helped.
Immediately.
Calvin Hill is in, number 35 for Cleveland, along with Greg Pruitt, both good receivers. Side looking for Pruitt, and deflected and almost caught. Woody Lowe was back there helping out Bob Greger, and Pruitt almost came down with the deflection.
That was good defensive coverage. Woody Lowe did make a good drop back in with Greger. Just really very tough pattern to try to get in there. You'll see both the defensive players in there. The bounce. Good concentration by Greg's part. He did keep his eye on the ball, didn't quite pull it down.
Sight calls most of his own plays, while the plays are sent in to Dan Fouts.
Real student of the game, Frank. He loves to look at films of the opponents, spends a lot of time in his own film room. Very well prepared.
2nd and 10. Reggie Rucker is in motion. Greg Pruitt.
Good move.
Open field. Pruitt stays on his feet to the 20-yard line. First down, Cleveland.
Well, he may be in a losing cause thus far, but the young man has had a tremendous night. Just tremendous.
Well, they've also found a fairly new member of that defensive unit with Mr. King over here. You'll see the 6'4" frame goes sliding by Mr. Greg Pruitt, but at least he gets up and goes after him again.
And you saw the offensive line of Cleveland. San Diego in a full stunt with Gary Johnson and Louis Kelcher. They picked up perfectly. 2:20 remaining in the third quarter. Cleveland threatening. Greg Pruitt. First down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal as the little one is teaming up with Brian Sipe to bring Cleveland back in this ballgame.
The little fella's having a ball.
He's having a good one. Again, they came out on that same side of the line, though. You don't like to. I'm just pointing out that what they're trying to do offensively is take advantage of what they feel are not necessarily the weakest parts of the defense, but the most inexperienced parts. And you've got Lyndon King coming in there, and he is 6'4", has not played there before. So they're going to go check him out. That's 3 times in a row they're working that side. That time they got him on inside move.
First down, goal to go. And listen to this crowd. They don't give up in Cleveland. They've seen them come back too many times. Dave Logan.
Oh, man, he almost caught that ball.
A bit of an alley-oop.
It was a good throw.
Bob Greger defensively. Number 43, Mike Williams, 29, were both there.
I think maybe we'll see that Mike Williams is maybe the guy that really prevents this reception. There you got a pretty good move. He's almost got his hands on it, and now, no, I was wrong. It was Greger that's the guy that came through there and knocked it away. Greger, 43, was the guy that came in there late and knocked it out. Dave Logan could have had that one.
Second down and go. Ricky Feature, 83 in the slot. Dave Logan, bottom of your screen. Ozzie Newsom, the tight end to the right. Tight had to hurry it as he was really popped by a hard-charging Don Reese.
He just got rid of that one as quickly as he could, but it looked to me like that Reese made a good move.
So it will be third down and goal to go.
Well, we don't have to guess right now where they're going to use 2 downs to try to get a touchdown. They've already shown us earlier in the ball game on 4th down and about 5 they'll go for it.
The skill of these passers, Fouts and Sipe. No interceptions thus far tonight. Third and goal. Calvin Hill in the draw play. Strange call.
Strange, except, Frank, it's one of those that if it works, it really does look good, makes you look awfully smart.
That's
I'm
true.
surprised instead of giving it.
That's what's surprising.
My question was Calvin Hill. He carried the ball one time a year ago.
I think the call's a good call, but not with Calvin. He can no longer run with the football.
So decision time once again. Ricky Feature brings the play in.
Who's
And on
got it?
4th and goal, the Browns will once again go.
Well, you remember they scored one of those circle route to Pruitt, who came out of the backfield over on the right side. That would be on Lyndon King's side. Let's see if they do it again in the same formation.
They are in the same formation. For Logan. Incomplete. Mike Williams was there defensively again with Bob Greger.
That's what I was going to say. That time, Frank, it was Mike Williams all over the play.
Put down, he goes right to Logan, and that ball couldn't be any better thrown, I don't think. It's one of those things that Logan just couldn't hold on to it. I'm sure influenced him dropping it.
The unstoppable Chargers thus far tonight. They start from their own 7-yard line. Fouts doesn't care where he throws the ball. And Joyner all the way down to the 37-yard line on a perfect strike by Dan Fouts.
Absolutely perfectly thrown.
It certainly was. And you talk about taking the starch out of an opponent. Look at Charlie Joyner run this pattern.
Well, Howard, look, he is really not that wide open. That ball was just zipped right in the middle. He had Larry Johnson and Clinton Burrell all around him. He made a nice move inside.
And we will not have another play before the third quarter expires. Charlie Joyner, 34 years old, having himself a night. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. And with the score, 34-14 San Diego, we'll return for the fourth quarter. After this message, the Goodyear Blimp America continues to hover over Cleveland Stadium. And that blimp, by the way, will be leaving Cleveland for West Lafayette, Indiana, where it's going to provide coverage of our Stanford-Purdue game next Saturday on ABC. It's going to take 2 days to get there. You could almost walk it.
Yeah, but the view's nice.
First and 10, San Diego. Following another great effort between Joyner and Dan Fouts, we open the fourth quarter with Muncy. And Muncy is having himself an evening. He has another Charger first down, close to the 20-yard line of the ball.
Well, it's simple. They don't know where they're coming from now. The attack is so diversified. There are the third quarter stats. Except for the rushing area, the stats are remarkably even, and it's the rushing area that assists in the disparity of the score. Also, the continuing accuracy of the Fouts-Joyner combination with the occasional use of Kellen Winslow.
No turnovers.
Ron Smith, 84, split to the left. That's Kellen Winslow shaking up the Browns defense. Muncy, flag is down as Muncy moves inside the 20-yard line.
Watching San Diego, Frank, that last Fouts to Joyner pass with such startling suddenness, I had the feeling of watching a fighter against the ropes with both hands at his sides and providing mere target practice for a relentless opponent. San Diego looks to be a crushing team tonight.
You know, Howard, as we mentioned, we watched the motion penalty being marked off against San Diego, that Cleveland was dead last in the league.
Second down.
Cleveland was dead last in the league against the pass a year ago. Now, they haven't helped themselves that much. They did have a #1 draft pick at the cornerback, Hanford Dixon, but he's not starting.
That's because he's been hampered, Frank, by an injury, as you know.
Alzado is hampered by a sore calf muscle. So the best pass rusher is hurting tonight. And San Diego is indeed hitting wherever they like. Second down and 8. James Brooks.
Almost a base
Brooks gets to the 15-yard line. Taken there by Tom Darden.
We saw Chuck Muncy limp off the play before, and James Brooks came in. Certainly don't know how seriously that was. He's moving around a little bit over the sideline. I've never seen. He said, "Okay, you okay, Chuck?" I said, "Chuck, you okay?" "Okay." Chuck's okay. I've never seen him run more.
You guys on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Well, those things happen, you know.
You look at the stats, Brooks has only gained about 30 yards or so, but they've been impressive yards. And you have the sense that he can break away at any time.
Third down 3. Fouts looking for Winslow.
Look out.
Overthrown. Winslow tried to go up for it. Dwight Scales was in the back of the end zone. He had a shot. But it'll be fourth down, and Rolf Benerska, who is hit from 50 and 43 yards, comes onto the field.
It appeared to me that Fouts threw that time on second thought. Like second thought, I'll go ahead and throw it. And I see more interceptions with that kind of a throw. He had a guy, he didn't throw good, crisp, waited a little bit, tried to get it in there late. It was almost an interception.
This attempt of 32 yards. Luther, the backup quarterback to Holder. Benerska remains perfect. 43 yards, 50 yards, and now adding another 3 points. We've got 13-18 remaining in the game, and the Chargers continue to dominate. We'll be back. Despite Leo Miller deep for the Cleveland Browns. Charles White drops it again. Now he falls on it at the 13-yard line. And Cleveland will start deep in their own territory.
See Charlie White drop the ball twice on a kickoff return is somewhat indicative of what's happened to him since he's been here. They're having a lot of meetings over there on the sideline. So far, not too many of them are working. Maybe this one will change the trend a little bit. Charlie White has not fit in as well as he had hoped, being a Heisman Trophy winner, the only one Cleveland has ever drafted.
Ozzie Newsome on first down. To the 20-yard line. He was down. There will be a pickup of 7. Two of the great tight ends in the game today, both performing here tonight. Ozzie Newsome and, of course, Kellen Winslow. A new breed of tight ends, big and fast. Now they mark it just inside the 21, so it's a gain of 8. Second down and 2. Dave Logan. Split to the right by Brian Sipe. Pruitt gets the first down out to the 32-yard line. Lyndon King defensively for San Diego. You mentioned it earlier, Don. Mike Pruitt did. He set a Brown record that had lasted for 28 years with 63 receptions last year. That record by the great Max Speedy. And he also had 1,000 yards rushing last year. With all the time in the world, delivers to Logan. And Logan has another first down at the 45-yard line. Bob Greger defensively.
You mentioned Max Speedy sitting in the booth next to us as a one-time Cleveland receiver, now an administrative assistant to Art Modell. Worn number 42, later for Miami. Along with Lynn Swann, maybe one of the 2 most graceful receivers I've ever seen. A fellow named Paul Warfield.
I would have guessed that. I knew that. I knew that.
You son of a gun, you were talking to him for a half hour before the game.
Well, why didn't you ask me if I knew who it was or something like that?
I didn't ask you. I asked a gift.
On first and 10, the draw play successfully pulled off for the Browns for another first down at the 43-yard line of San Diego. Cleveland's offense is a good offense. They just have got to figure out a way to get the ball back.
Ooh.
We'll be heading for Miami on a special
over Miami
Thursday night, 8:30. We're going to watch the Dolphins go against the Steelers. Dolphins, surprising team. Boy, they've had a turnover there over the last few years.
New time.
First and 10, Sipe. Greg Pruitt. Lyndon King defensively. Gain of a yard.
Shula's the old master gift, but you got to give an awful lot of credit to an extraordinary defensive coach. There's Paul Warfield. Okay, number 42. Bill Arnsparger is just a defensive genius. I'm convinced of it. Interesting the way they've moved Beaucamper up to the line this year and Dewey into linebacker. You notice, Giff?
Yeah, they worked Dewey out there last year, and he really worked out pretty good for them. Second down and 8. Sipe draws a crowd and has to get rid of it. It'll be third down and 8. What an offensive show we've had tonight to kick off our season. Boy, down the line, we're going to be looking at these Chargers again. We're going to be seeing them in our final game of the season against the Oakland Raiders. But in between now and then, we have what we feel really is the best schedule that we have ever had as we look at, well, he might be the senior citizen with the Chargers at 34. If he isn't, right close to it.
Well, some thought he was drafted as a defensive back. Klosterman had drafted him in Houston, second-round choice. Out of Grambling, then Grambling College. Now
Speed.
Grambling University.
Speed on the flank for Cleveland. Willis Adams on third and 8. Sipe wants 6 with Adams. And no chance. Good defensive play all the way with Willie Buchanan. And I know when they scout a team, they know that the one thing Willis Adams, who's been really trouble over the past couple of years with a lot of little nagging injuries, they know that he has speed. Willie Buchanan's a smart cornerback. He played him all the way for the fly.
And he exchanged words with some of the Cleveland fans who were apparently throwing some hostile words toward him.
Yeah, the Cleveland fans are a remarkable group. They've sold 52,000 season tickets this year to set a Brown record. They really do come in here to see the Browns play.
4th down and 8. Browns will go. Whoa. Logan. And there's a battle for the football, and it's Mike Williams who comes up with it. First turnover of the game. Mike Williams, we've talked about him all night.
Got good pressure from Leroy Jones, number 68. Louis Kelcher was in the general area, but Leroy Jones was the guy that came back there. Sipe had to get rid of the ball. You can see just stepped in. They played with him a little bit too much. He said, "You've been trying me a little bit too much tonight." Mike Williams, he is a good one. Logan tried to get there. Mike Williams made a cut to come in front.
Well, Brian Sipe holds most of the Cleveland Browns record. He just got another one. At least he's tied Otto Graham in number of interceptions with 94. But indeed, he puts the ball in the air much more than Otto ever did in his years. We'll be back. In 10 possessions tonight, the San Diego Chargers have scored 7 times. Fouts, a phenomenal 18 of 23, 292 yards, while Muncie has kept everything honest with 18 carries for 135 yards.
One of the possessions was ended by the half. One good way to stop him.
Muncie adds some more. Quick 10-yard pickup. So Muncie is now up to 145 yards.
He's getting close to his record of 161 for a given game.
Remember, he told me a while ago he was all right. I asked him how he was. He said he was okay. He was just resting a little bit. Had a small hitch in his get-along, which was corrected.
He put together that 161 yards against the tough Atlanta team in 1979 when he was a New Orleans Saint. Muncie, first-round draft pick for the Saints in '76 after a great collegiate career at California. Muncie again. Had to almost come back for it. And he runs into Clay Matthews at the line of scrimmage. He might even lose a yard.
Slight mix-up, wasn't there, in a handoff that time.
Hard to imagine a man of that size, somewhere between 230 and 235 at 6'3". Not so much the speed, it's the agility.
They've got him at 218 right there, and I think they do that just to make him look trim, but I guarantee he weighs more than 220.
Well, there's a fellow soon be becoming a pro. I said soon. How soon remains to be seen. Named Herschel Walker, whose speed is awesome for his size.
2nd and 11. He doesn't do this well, but it's very effective as he picks up a quick 8 yards. It'll be 3rd down and a long 2. It'll be 3rd down and 3 as they mark the ball at the 46. Muncie gets another opportunity. Easily picking up the 1st down and moving into Cleveland territory at the 49.
Valenzuela with that rookie shutout mark.
That's right. Yeah, what did he do? He tied the record, or is he one short of shutouts
Tied
for
the
a rookie?
record.
Yeah.
Chargers on the prowl once again. Muncie off the right side. 4-yard pickup to the 45-yard line. Don Good made the stop. There's a man that gave it his all tonight, as he always does, Mike Pruitt. So San Diego, now they're working on the ticker. It shows inside 7 minutes remaining.
It's quite a statistic on Mike Pruitt to lead his team in rushing and receiving the same year. That's pretty versatile.
Muncie, the lone setback. He's getting a workout. Running into Clay Matthews. And Matthews and Muncie are getting to know each other tonight. Short of the 1st down by a little more than a yard. It'll be 3rd down.
That's an unhappy Dave Logan.
I like Retigliano's comment. He says, sure, we want to win. He says, but there's 15 more after this. If we win this one tonight, says we still got 15 more. If we lose it, same thing.
That's what Walt Michaels of the Jets apparently said after Chuck Knox had demolished
Winslow. Muncy looking for his own personal best record. Very close to it as he picks up the first down at the 37-yard line. Tom Darden defensively there with help from his friends for Cleveland.
Incidentally, Frank, since I mentioned the name, and since we'll be in Buffalo a week from Thursday for a game we all eagerly await, the Eagles against the Bills, that should be some matchup. That fellow Chuck Knox has really proved himself a truly great coach. Don't you agree?
Oh, well, he always has been. He did a superb job with the Rams. Muncy has now unofficially tied his personal career best of 161 yards in 1979 against Atlanta. Cappelletti in the lineup, gets to the line of scrimmage, up into there by Henry Bradley, the nose guard for the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you had yourself a night, Chuck, and you did not drop that once. I don't think he's going to drop. He's carrying the ball in a different manner this year. He's got it tucked away.
I understand you, Chuck.
Loss of a yard by Cappelletti. There'll be a...
My gosh.
There'll be a lot of 300-yard games for this young man, Brian Sipe.
50 passes. Can you believe that, though?
Yep.
Bills threw 61 or 62 yesterday. I mean, Saturday for Minnesota. They're putting the ball in the air.
Intended for Dwight Scales, incomplete. Fouts is just shy of a 300-yard night of his own. But his completion percentage has been remarkable, and that, of course, brought about really by the threat of James Brooks and Chuck Muncy running in the backfield. 3rd down and 11.
Chargers have really kept them off balance tonight.
4:25 remaining in the game. 37-14 San Diego. Fouts. Oh, wide open down the sidelines. That's Ron Smith. Fouts over 300. Ron Smith scoring from way out, and Fouts must have looked at 3 different receivers.
I don't know how did he get down there? Where did Ron Smith come from?
He ran.
Now, wait a minute. Somebody has to miss this.
How about Willie Buchanan maybe thinking, or rather Ron Bolton thinking he was going to have some help?
Well, somebody made one in there, I'll guarantee you, because Clinton Burrell had to come all the way from his safety, so it must have been a mix-up in assignments, but you're right. Well, Fouts looked at about 2 or 3 different guys before he said, wait a minute, I see a guy wide open, Ron Smith. I think I'll throw it to him.
Ralph Benerska. He's been busy tonight. So, the score continues to mount over the Cleveland Browns by the San Diego Chargers. Benerska kicks off once again. Dribbles it along the ground and is fumbled back there and finally picked up by Cleo Miller.
I'm telling you, it's been one of those nights. Those guys, they cannot do it.
Poor Cleo Miller all night has been pinned up back there, struggling.
Charlie White says, I'm not going to try it this time. You take it, Cleo.
Well, Sam can tell his people to forget about this evening, but he can't forget about it because they've got to do something about their defense. That much has been made clear.
4:09 remaining in the game. And Cleveland once again deep within their own territory at the 7-yard line. To Detroit next week. Fouts slips back, finds Greg Pruitt, and the Charger defense now just laying off. They'll give Cleveland a lot of underneath.
Not only that, use up the clock in the bargain as long as they keep them from going out of bounds.
I mentioned Detroit being at San Diego, and the Houston Oilers with a surprise win. You could say anything is a surprise with Earl Campbell in your backfield, with a surprise win yesterday over L.A. Well, they'll be here at Cleveland next Sunday. On 1st and 10, Mike Pruitt steps out of bounds, kills the clock at the 30-yard line with 3:34 remaining in the game.
I found Stabler's performance interesting yesterday. He had virtually no training. Now, Don, when you were playing, you hated training, didn't you?
I didn't really hate it, but I didn't really like it a whole lot. I think it's important for a quarterback to maybe do a little running, get his legs in shape, and he's got to throw the ball some. You need to get hit a little bit, get over that initial soreness, but basically after that, you don't have to really be as good a shape as some of those guys.
Second down and about a yard to go. Sight has the first to Mike Pruitt.
I think you can see him complete those passes all the way down to about the 20. They're not going to let him get deep. You see a 5-back situation in there for San Diego. That's not an unusual defensive move. But they're just protecting a very big lead, and they're going to let him complete those in the middle.
You'd almost call it a controlled scrimmage now for Cleveland. Out of this game at 44-14. Ozzie Newsome to the 45-yard line. Bob Greger there defensively.
How much time did it take you to get ready for a season?
Well, I really did work a little harder than maybe you might think. I mean, I'd go to those off-season programs and stuff like that. The thing that I think is tough on quarterbacks is starting off with the two-a-days, and you usually go right back to the very basic sort of plays that you run last year. A couple of weeks, you're ready to go. What are you guys asking me stuff like that? I don't remember.
First and 10.
Frank, you're grinning.
Mike Pruitt. Well, I'm just grinning. I wonder what Howard was asking you, what you were getting ready for.
Yeah, what?
I think you could come back.
I certainly could. I've never forgiven Klosterman for going and giving Brody all that money when I was just 250 miles up the road from him in Houston.
Second down and 3. Ball at the 38-yard line. Flag goes down, and so does Sight, as he is belted there in convincing style. Don Reese again.
Holding on number 73.
That's really embarrassing when
Doug Deacon.
you hold and your guy still gets the sack.
Yeah, Don Reese can add a lot to this Charger defensive unit.
You know, this may be a wonderful opportunity for me to say this about that. Wonderful opportunity.
Holding, number 73, offense, decline.
See, that was it. Now then, this would quickly lead me into the fact that this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. Now, it's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written, not verbal, written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Look at those yards. I didn't do a very good job. I'll do better next year.
You saw another staggering offensive numbers as Brian Sipe looks over third down and 11 with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the game. Sipe has Newsome, first down. Inside the 35-yard line, and that will move the clock to 1:56, and the 2-minute warning will be given to both benches. So the Cleveland Browns continue to show well offensively. Their problem remains on the defense. First and 10. Brian Sipe looking over at Charger defense. This is Feature, and Bob Greger gets the football. The first-year man out of Washington State who was on the injured reserve a year ago, now a starter replacing Pete Shaw, gets his first career interception.
Well, you can almost expect it. They certainly are looking for the pass. They really were deep. He's just sitting back, as they say, playing center field, played the ball, came across, made a good move. They were trying to hit down in the middle. Look at it from the other side. Ball's pretty well on target. They just had too many defensive players back there. Comes over the top, makes a good move.
We're going to use that reverse angle some during the course of the year to show you plays you really can't see. It's going to be a little jarring at times, but we'll try and explain. It is a camera we have located across the field at the 50-yard line as Ed Luther has replaced Dan Fouts. He had a great preseason as he did a year ago. He actually was a little better than Fouts in preseason this year. He had 6 touchdowns.
Well, one of the interesting things about both of these teams is that each team has a backup quarterback who is very, very good. Luther is en route to being a star if the day ever comes when Fouts can't throw or stand. And in the meantime, Paul McDonald out of USC, a southpaw passer, is himself behind Brian Sipe, and he's a beauty. We saw him work in the Hall of Fame game. He's got a lot of talent and a lot of paws. In the meantime, We'll be back in Cleveland in a moment.
Second down. We'll call it 8. John Cappelletti powers out to the 10-yard line.
Got to go against a team that clearly has excellent defense and a young, growing, and finely disciplined quarterback in Woodland, with excellent receivers and Nat Moore, a growing Jimmy Cephalo, and of course Guriel Harris.
Third down and 4 for the mop-up man, Ed Luther hands it off to John Cappelletti, and Cappelletti close to a Charger first down. Indeed, he has it. Well, the seconds will tick away, and the Chargers will get off to a victory in their opener. The Cleveland Browns will drop one.
In the perspective of this game, clearly, while the Browns have defensive weaknesses, San Diego put on a devastating performance. You had to be impressed with the quality of this team, even without John Jefferson. Maybe in a strange way, they've become more diversified because of John's absence. Spectacular individual performer though he is.
Well, it's not a bad point, because, you know, you've got a guy like Jefferson who's really very exceptional. Your tendency as a quarterback is, hey, I'm going to go to him all the time. I'm going to use him and use him. He's not there. He's got Winslow. Dwight Scales is probably the big surprise. He's kind of drifted around. Was cut by New York with the Rams. Billy Brooks you're talking about, so maybe that is what they're doing. I know they mixed up their plays better than I've seen San Diego ever do. Not only the running and passing, but the types of runs and the types of passes they threw. Those two guys right there.
Right
put on the show, didn't they?
And Charlie Joyner. What a performance by Charlie.
Fouts, Munson, Joyner.
First down, 10, and Ed Luther drops on the ball. No more timeouts for Cleveland. Seconds will tick away. Hope you've enjoyed our initial telecast. A reminder, once again, we have a fine schedule coming your way. Glad you're going to be around for our 12th year of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. It all began right here in 1970. And it continues to grow with each and every year, just as this game continues to grow. Could be the final play of the game. A second down at 14. Ed Luther covering up. So a disappointment for the Cleveland Browns tonight, and a shocking offensive performance by the San Diego Chargers, who no longer, it does not appear, will be relying on the arm of this man for their offense. Congratulations given to Don Coryell by Sam Rutigliano. Once again, the final score, 44-14, San Diego over Cleveland.